gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, you know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets that to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why can't we ever bounce on the rhythm, yeah, yeah, yeah. You gotta make a move to me, baby, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, you know me, I'm not wasting time. No secrets that to hide. You gotta show me love when you're ready, yeah, yeah, yeah. Why can't we ever bounce on the rhythm?
It's like a glitch I can't control. Someone's fucking with my dough. Kind of voodoo shit, you know. You know, you won't find me tongue-tied. No witness on my side. Harmonies when I cry. This stuff makes me nauseous. Losing what they taught us. Gotta tread real cautious. But I go back to default. I go back to default. I go back to someone's fucking with my door. Kind of voodoo shit, you know. But you won't find me tongue-tied. No witness on my side. Harmonies when I cry. This stuff makes me nauseous. Losing what they taught us. Gotta tread real cautious. I go back to default. 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 I go back to
look in your eyes, it's getting hard to hide my desire for you. The way you suffocate me, it makes me wanna run. I am desperate to break free from your poison. You know I feel like again now. Hate how you take me over. I tell myself it's the last time. You bury me alive. Beats the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to RSC 15, week number 8. We have matches to get through tonight. Well, 3 of them at least. Our first one is going to kick off with Shadow Darkness up against the Berserker Jarros. It's 7 versus 6 in that order. Gaz, it's going to be an interesting matchup, this one.
Yeah, I think that we're entering week 8. It's the second to last week of the season, and definitely this is when the tensions rise. Rosters are confirmed, you can't make any changes, and this is where you fight for the last spot, especially a game like this where it's 6 versus 7. The Berserkers team versus Shadows team, Elite. Berserkers being 7-8, winning the other game of the week, while Shadows still being 6-8. So both of these teams still have the possibility to be above the other at the end of the week. So it's this match is very, very important, and just losing it can really ruin their chances heading into next week.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's going to be a really tough battle, and both fighting for that play-in pot spot if they could get there. But looking on form, Shadow Darkness has gone off a double loss, win, double loss, and then it's the other way around. It's win, loss, win, loss, win, loss for Berserkers. And I said if they continue that trend of both these teams, it's going to be a win for Shadow Darkness and a loss for Berserkers. But you're thinking otherwise, and I'm thinking Shadow Darkness will continue that trend. So, temper predictions wise, I've gone for 3-2 win, close one for Shadow Darkness. And you've gone for Berserkers yourself with what scoreline?
Yeah, so I went for Berserkers 3-1 because if you actually look at the results, the recent results, the last 2 teams that they actually lost to were the first 2 in their conference. So clearly, I feel like they've been playing good, especially other teams in their conference. So this game is no different. So I actually expect them, not expect, but I can see them taking this game 3-1.
Nice one. Wow, that's a good little prediction. At least we got opposite guesses, that's for sure, going into it. And that's how close it's going to be, to be honest, with both teams looking on that verge. Their win percentage pretty close to each other. The only thing is there's one team that's conceded a little bit more than they've scored, and that's the Jarros squad. But hopefully they'll turn that things around as well tonight. But we'll just have to wait and see. As Shadow, but the Darkness have got a +1 in their goal difference, which is pretty good considering, actually. Assume if we're going into the matchup very soon. Everybody should be ready to go. We're heading into Manfield night for match number 1 here in this best of 5. We should be letting up and we should be about to kick off.
Oh, Patrick is playing. This is a really interesting game, I can't lie. But now on the kickoff, Lumi will lead this for LA Kitten, who can take the double. Blocked by Beck. Mitchell will be up to follow this up, going for a double and slotted that in. Beautiful goal coming from him, and he take the lead early on, 8 seconds in.
Yeah, a very quick start here for the Darkness roster. Mifro underneath side of the bar. They'll find that, tuck it in, and give themselves a nice wee warm-up message here to their opposition. Ready, a kick start, another kick-off here. Late kicking getting the first touch, but Patrick's going to push it towards the right-hand side. Mifro once again up in the air, sends it down in towards the goal line. Oh, cross is coming in. Mifro, those follow up. It is 2-0, and we are already firing off here in 15 seconds, 2 goals in. What's that?
I mean, fire start coming out from Shadow here. I feel like I might have made maybe a possible wrong prediction here, but you know, it's always the first game. It's an early start, and some teams tend to pick up their pace later on. You know, probably just warming up. But now, shot coming up from LA Kitten. Dan clipping on the crossbar here, but Patrick will take this now. A lot of boosts to try and play this off the ceiling. Probably a double on the ground. Nice block coming out from Lumi as LA Kitten will take the shot. Beck cutting across the field. Gets the block. Gets in the 15 to the corner. Will place into the middle. It's off the backboard. Patrick gets a bump. Actually drops this for Dan, but Lumi will take the shot. Not a lot of boost as Dan controls this to his corner. Not much here, but it's passed into the middle. Nobody will be there to follow up. A clear, a pass.
Oh, I was going to say, a lot of things going on here. I feel like Mifro has been involved in almost every single play when you see the Darkness roster going onto the attack. And if Mifro's playing the way that he started off and he continues to do this, he could be finding some good quality passes, good amount of goals here as well. But they've managed to hold strong in their defense. Speaking of Mifro, there he is again, making a top-class save on towards Beck. Then Kitten gets a chance to take the shot. He's going to get the double, but it comes off the backboard. Patroid knocks it back. But Elite Kitten's going to keep it going. Passes it to Lumi. The save is in. Beck's there now. Everybody getting a chance to take shots. Mifro once again. It gets off of the goalkeeper, but he's not going to save it. And Mifro adds his 3rd goal already in such quick succession. I mean, this is a way to start your hat-trick. And you're within 3 minutes left still to play.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell has been playing so well so far, just like what you said. But now 3-0, it's still 3.5 minutes in. It's still a lot of time. You know, Berserkers can mount a comeback, but they do need to start it immediately. They do not want to keep on surviving on this scoreline for the next, I don't know, a minute or two, because time's just running down. But Poitro don't miss this as Allocated will take a clear into the corner. Beck will go up, try and control this as it's challenged by Mitchell. Mitchell missing this, will leave it to Dan. Dan trying to beat one, trying to beat two, as Allocated will have a chance to do a double, will try a flip reset, beat one person, it's off the post again. But Dan, nice clear, Poitro will be up, who passes into the middle.
Thankfully, Patroid was there to make that save there. That could have been 4-0 already, and it'd been even harder to do only halfway through this game. It's going to be a really difficult comeback, but if they score 3 goals from Shadow, there is still a chance here for that Yarrow squad to find free themselves in the second half of this game. Patroid goes to the sky, hits it off the top roof, but the Helicitten's going to be there to at least intercept that for now. Keeping the challenge on though, the Jarros, the Berserker Nation needs to kind of find a way into this, get some chances on towards goal, because they're few and far between at the moment. They have took 3 shots, but so far most of them are all being saved. So every single individual here of that Darkness roster, and yeah, the Jarros just can't really get something too clinical at the moment. As Mifro adds a 4th, like why not? I mean, he's not going to be stopped. He took 4 shots and all 4 of them have hit the back of that net. What a conversion rate that is.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really play shots also, like just placing it in between the 2 defenders. A really tough one to save as it takes it one time as quickly as it could. But now on the kickoff now, Elocate will have a chance to take the shot. Dan will clear to his corner as Mitchell will be there to try something again. Fix one out, actually challenged again. But Beck now, not a lot of balls. Not a good clear as Elocate will get a pop-up. Patrick
Oh,
missed
it's
that.
easy as you like. How is easy as you? Where was the goalkeeper? What was he thinking? Beck doesn't have any boost. Ellie-Kitten just gets a little tap. It just floats its way in. Patrick goes up for it, runs out of boost himself as well. Just can't take the touch, and Dan's left waiting. He's the only one left on that team there with boost, but doesn't matter what he did at that point. That goal was already going in the back of the net. We're 5-0 down, and there's going to have to be a quick reset going into game number 2 here if you're Jaros, because I don't think this is the way you're wanting to start off your series. 5-0 down, still 1:40 to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's quite unfortunate coming up from Patrick. He just didn't have enough boost. But now 5-0 down, yeah, I feel like the game might be done. But maybe we might see a chance for Brazil possibly coming in here. As Beck challenged by Ellie-Kitten. Ellie-Kitten will try a pass here, but Mitchell would jump at that immediately. It pinches off back into the center of the pitch as Lumi will get a good clear now, trying to go for a bomb. Patrick misses that again. Beck will control this though. He has some boost. He misses that also. Miss control coming out from him as Dan will clear this now. Dan a lot of boost, trying to do something, trying to do what he can as Patrick will take the shot here. Mitchell controlling this in this corner. Will try and go up. Challenged by Beck. Not a lot of boost for Berserkers. Yeah, they are struggling. They are struggling to find boost.
Yeah, I feel like they're being starved completely here. Darkness are making sure that they are keeping all that pressure on and starve, boosting them completely as much as they possibly can. But at this point in time, when you're 5-0 down, 42 seconds left to do, you're needing almost 2 goals every 10 seconds. If you could possibly get that, that's probably not going to happen. There is a chance though. Dan does take the shot. Mifro's there in the back, and this has definitely been an MVP performance from that Mifro. Oh, it is. He's been getting so many saves, all the goals as well going his way pretty much, other than Ellie-Kitten's one. But yeah, I mean, it's just looked phenomenal so far in game number 1, and if he can continue to do this throughout these games, it's going to be a difficult ask here for the Berserkers, the Jaros squad, to try and find even a game win in this series at this point.
Yeah, I think they'll actually struggle to get a game win. I'm sorry to say, but like, sure, this game is done and dusted. But one thing that I heard or what I've seen is that Patrick is the minimum rival CMV, which is subbing up for his elite team. He's also like the GM of the Berserkers team, and this Berserkers team here, Jarls, they're missing both of their 2 higher CMVs. So it's like, CMV wise, it's clearly a darkness sweep. No offense, and they've already shown how dominant they were in this game 1, and I feel like it's going to be very hard for Berserkers to probably even score a goal. I'm sorry to say.
I won't write them off yet. We've still got a best of 5, a chance to at least. Janos, only 1 goal needs to get them to even more chances. But I feel like Janos has got a goal in them. They've got plenty of shots off. Overall, it was a total of 8 shots they did get, but every single one of them being saved, and that's why Mifro was one of the top class players so far. He got 2 saves and 6 shots, 4 goals. A great MVP performance going into that one, and we'll be getting ready for match number 2, heading into Forbidden Temple. You're thinking that you've done the wrong decision on your predictions. I still think the prediction are going to Darkness, but I do think it might not be a 3-2. It might not be as close as we think. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see, as we will be kicking off here for game number 2. Forbidden Temple will be kicked off, and Jaros are going to have the biggest of starts here to make sure they can keep Mifro at bay as the kickoff is done. Patroit and Mifro challenge it up, and Ellie-Kitten take this guy straight away, putting the challenge on towards that Jaros, but Beck's going to get the chance to take the shot all the way up. The tap back is not going to be good enough. It's not enough power. There's not enough distance behind it, and Ellie-Kitten at least will keep the save in and put it off the backboard towards Lumi up the right hand side.
Yeah, I just want to see Berserkers put more pressure on the opponent's nets. Like, so far they've been stuck in their half as they are right now. Beck will have to try and get his team out of here as he misses the ball here. Mitchell will just play this up the backboard for his teammate leaving. Not a lot of boost, not much he can do as Lumi will pass this into the center for Ellie-Kitten. Ellie-Kitten pops this up for Mitchell. Mitchell will take a pass straight into the middle, but Beck will be there to clear this out. Lumi there backing off, waiting for the chance shot, doing Beck here as Beck will pass into Patrick. Patrick gets a challenge. He did have a lot of boost. I feel like he could have done something more, but Ellie-Kitten now chasing this as Lumi will be up, will try to control this, leaving it for Mitchell actually as Mitchell is challenged by Dan. Dan is just ball chasing at the moment. Lumi will pick up the 100. Lumi will be back here. Lumi again will have a chance. Lumi off the backboard will play this out. Oh!
Pick it out. If he could do it, he says he took the full boost and he does everything he needed to do with that full boost in hand. just continually challenging it towards that goal of Jaros, and whoever that was back, I just missed it there, but they just could not deal with it. It was too much, and it was a little bit longer for our first goal in game number 2 than it was here in our first. But they've already started the way of Shadow, and it looks like they are looking to kind of continue as they left from game number 1. Beck can try and put some challenge. You're going to need a big game from every single one of the Janos players. Every single one of them have to be on top form from here on out for their chance to at least secure a goal, get themselves back into it, and even maybe try and get themselves in that lead for the first time, which we've not seen yet. And if they struggle to find a goal, it's going to be a struggle chance to take any lead whatsoever. But Mifro now takes the ball away, repossesses Beck, but that pass is coming off for anybody as everybody's running out of boost at the moment. The only person dealing with it there is Lumi, but Patroy's going to take it into the darkness half. Beck, is he going to challenge it to get the chance? He's got the ball, it is flipped and it's not touching off of his car enough. Lumi's there to deal with it, and Ellie is still back to pass it on towards Lumi, but the intercept comes in. Mifro once again, superb save in the back line.
Beck off the backboard. Maybe they can score here with a shot, but it's off the post bar. It's off the crossbar. But Beck now trying to return this a pinch off the ramp of the sidewall. But it's back into the middle. Lumi will take the shot as Dan flips out of the way, misses that. He whiffs that.
I feel like I was watching some diamond play there. That's exactly what I would do. I would be flipping towards the ball, and I'm that blind and that slow at reacting. I flipped it exactly the wrong way, and the ball just passes by me and goes into the back of the net. It's 2-0 darkness, and I feel like they just want to cover themselves in darkness at this moment in time. If you're Janos, just put a hood over your head and just forget about this. We'll go back to that kick if we get back into it. And Janos now 2 goals behind once again, but halfway through the game, still plenty of time. At least they're not 4-0 down at this point as they were prior to this, 3-4-0, whatever it was last time round, because it was quite a bit of a score. But now they've got a chance of an open net here. Ellicot's managed to secure it back, but 3 versus 1 here in the back. Beck goes for the explosion on towards Mifro, but they can't do anything with that possession, sadly, for Jaros. As well and truly intercepted, and we're going to get some mid-play here for now as the ball will bounce back and forward between the two teams.
Yeah, Beck will try and do something here as he beats one defender, a good air dribble, but Lumi will clear this to the side. The corner as Dan will pick up the 100 there. It's an awkward bounce for him as Beck will return the bounce into the corner there as Patron takes the shot as scores the first goal for his team.
There we go. Jaros are on the board. They've got a goal to their name. They're not going completely zeroed in this one, at least, and this is going to bring 1 back. Still, plenty of time here to find more goals. Can the team of Jaros do so?
Yeah. Nice kickoff coming out from Alligator there as Lumi will take control here. We'll flip this into the corner. Alligator will take the shot, but Dan will be there to clear this downwards as Beck will be there to cover for his teammates. Misclear there, but Portrait now boost, miss control coming up from here as Dan is backwards, will be up to challenges, will give 50. Alligator will take control now. A lot of boost here for him. Beck will just clear this with the little that he has, but Lumi will play this up the back, but the pressure is suffocating Berserkers at the moment as Lumi will play this to Mitchell. Mitchell will be there. It's a nice 50 coming up for Berserkers. Can they clear this out? Finally, it's out of the half. Dan now will try to challenge this again, but he's still beat. It's back into the half again as Lumi will play this. A nice pass into Mitchell, but Mitchell will back off. Patrick will take control now into the ceiling. Nice 50 from him, but Beck now bumped out of the way, but Lumi will get to clear. Will he follow this? No, nobody will actually end up following that. Actually, it's a nice pass off the sidewall from Ellie Kitten there, but backing off. Beck now will go to the ceiling. Let's see what he can do here.
Here we go. See if we can try and get that reset. Doesn't do so. The intercept comes in, but it's only as far as Patroy. He tries to take it to the sky. Now, is he going to be able to try and do something with this? Passes it towards Beck. Bex will get the touch. Not heavy enough here. Elkitten's managing to deal with that easy enough. And they've still got the defence in the back. Nobody comes off towards Dan, and nobody can secure that. The equaliser is in. And all of a sudden, this is game on here in game number 2. Dan finally finding a redirect into the back of the net. He finds his first goal of this series after a couple of shots. Well, that's 3 shots so far he's took. He's got 1 converted from that one in this game, and thankfully for them, they've tied up the series with still 27 seconds left to play and the chance to potentially find a winner. If it goes, it's definitely going to go against their own play if they find that winner, but the way that Darkness are going, they'll be pretty upset that they've conceded 2 now, considering the way their game 1 went. But they've just not played the same way. The game's slightly different, but we might actually be going to overtime here. 7 more seconds, we count down the time. Ellie Kitten towards Dan though, only as far as him. He's going to try and do something. Flicks up in the air. Mifro's going to be there to pass out of the way. Beck, thankfully. And the Patroid will miss the opportunity. We go to overtime, and it's all down to this one goal. Who will be the first to find it? Mifro wins that attack, but Dan is going to go straight towards him. Doesn't get the reset, but does get the control. Ellie Kitten gets the save, though. He's in the right position at the right time. Now, Beck goes for the 50. It almost pinches off and under the side of the bar, but thankfully for Darkness, they are managing to keep it alive. The saves are coming in, and Ellie Kitten's doing fantastic work in the back.
Yeah, Beck, nice control on 50 coming up from Mink, and down follow this up. It's into Ellie Kitten's hands here, but Poitras definitely controlling this to his side. He might get done with here. No, Poitras now will try something. We'll go now, a lot of boosts, probably get a 50, but it's double coming out from Shadow's side here as the open net. No, it's not open actually. That was really close. But Beck now will pick up the 100. We'll try something up the corner. Will be one defender leaving this for Poitras probably. Poitras who passes, but that will be there to take a shot. Let's go, the overtime goal.
There we go. That's exactly what they needed. Jaros get themselves back in the series, and these predictions are still on for both of us. No matter what, it is definitely going to another game. We're not going to see the sweep 3-0 win. That is not going to be happening. But Jaros get on the board. They did win it in overtime, but that's all that matters. The win is the win. They continue on, looking to try and find this chance of winning this series still. Either team can win it, and it doesn't matter how many goals you lose in the first game. It is the first game. This one, looking across the board, though, Dan, definitely the performer of that game there from himself. He gets the MVP status as well. 2 goals to his name, 6 shots in total, a couple of saves as well to keep Darkness at bay. And that was a little bit better in defense-wise from the Jaros roster.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the Berserkers team, Yals, just came into this game with like the right mindset. Like, even when they were 2-0 down, I thought it was wraps because they were double committed at some points and they had no boost so many times. But then all they needed was like that singular goal coming up from Patrick from a miss clear, right? And he found the space, he scored that. From there on, it was pressure from Berserkers team and they kept on going and going. And it was great to watch. I love the comeback here and they're back into it.
Yeah, 100%. Now, we're heading to Sovereign Heights here for game number 3. Darkness versus Jaros. It's technically 7 goals to 3, but it's 1-1 in the goal games, and that's all that matters. Jaros now want a good start once again. They held off the Darkness roster early on. They did go 2 goals down, but they managed to fight back and go on and win in overtime in that game too. Now, with a chance here to try and take the lead for the first time. Dan, just a little bit too low, run out of boost as well in the meantime. But at least Beck's going to keep that pressure as he sends the ball back into the Darkness half. Patrick goes for the 50, and Ellie Kitten's going to send it away and clear the lines. But straight into the front of Beck. He's going to get a second touch potentially to pass it on towards Dan. Dan's there, but Lumi is already sitting in place to stop that ball going anywhere near that goal line and sends it all the way up to the other half. Ellie Kitten, challenge, goal off the top bar. Raw Lumi hits it off above as well. And nobody's there to challenge it. Mifro, who's had a great game number 1, hasn't done it in the game number 2, and wants to see if he can start heating up once again, because when he's on form, that Darkness roster are on form. Speaking of which, he takes the shot and Dan makes the save.
Now, Beck, nice save coming up from him. Mitchell will be up. No, a lot of boosts. It's a fake for Lumia, actually. Lumia will take the shot. Backing off is Mitchell. Mitchell is beat by Beck here. Patrick will pick up the 100, will control it on his corner, will try and beat Ellie Kitten here. Ellie Kitten will great challenge coming off him as Beck will be there to follow up, cover for his teammate here. He misses the double there as Dan will cut in rotation here. Nice clear, actually double coming out from both players here, but Patrick will pick up the boost to get the challenge. Beck now with the chance with the 50. It rolls onto the backboard as Ellie Kitten will get a good clear to the side for himself. It rolls off the ceiling. Mitchell is up. He passes it to the middle for Lumi, who will take the shot, but Patrick will be up to save that. Mitchell now on the sidewall will try and control this again as Ellie Kitten will go for the 50. That now will follow this, not a lot of boost. Aiming for the 50, no. Clear, probably a bump. Even if Patrick misses that, Beck will have to back up. It's a 1v1, but Patrick will be back in time to bump Lumi out of the ball. Ellie Kitten now popping this up. Beck will probably get a good clear for someone who's in the middle. Nobody. As Dan backs up, I feel like Dan should have saved for all the bit there. But Lumi now control. Somebody has to be there for the shots. Ellie Kitten is there, but nice save coming up from Beck. But Beck will get a really good clear. Mitchell in the middle, just keeping them in bay. I feel like in this game, Shadow have been doing well, just staying in the middle, simple challenges, following balls here, they're keeping the pressure, but so far half of the game has passed and they haven't scored yet.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's halfway through this game and yet to see a goal. It is the best defense on both sides we've had so far, especially considering Darkness have had so many shots on target and all these saves that have to be made from Janos. They're doing all the hard work. But now Mifro sends it.
Oh.
Demo comes in. Lumi gets a chance, but it's hit off of Beck. Beck sends it right up the field. Patroy's chasing it. It's going to be an open chance for Dan. He hits it wide. Beck's going to follow up, though. It's going to hit above the crossbar, and Dan's going to get another chance, but Mifro is there. So many opportunities there, just go and miss. As now Darkness managed to clear out the lines, and thankfully for them, that could have been them going down considering all the pressure has been going their way.
Yeah, I feel like Dan should definitely probably scored there. But now, trying to redeem himself with controllers. 100 boost, beats one defender. Can he challenge this? No, Mitchell passes down. Actually, he passed off the backboard. That was really interesting from him. But Patrick now, no, a lot of boost as Beck will leave this for Dan. It's off the side now as Beck will be up. We'll miss the double here. Patrick has to be up for this. We'll try and control this to the side. No, I thought he would control this to the backboard, but nice clear coming up from Dan now. Beck will follow this. He's beat Patrick now at the back, just helping his team here. I feel like Patrick has been playing well considering that he's the minimum rival CMV. So, yeah, he has definitely been playing well in a game like this.
Yeah, it definitely is playing some good Rocket League at the moment. But Lumi now passes it out towards Eliken. Oh, intercept from Dan. Thankfully, it doesn't come off that backboard. That would have fell right into the grasp of Mifro. But thankfully, he manages to keep that away because that's one player you don't want the ball going towards too often is Mifro. But like we said, he's been kept quiet quite a lot here for these last two games. You've had Lumi being the player that's been on form. He's found 8 shots, but there's Mifro now doing what he does best. Passes it down towards Lumi. But it's such a slow ball. Beck's got an easy clear. And that is unlucky for Darkness once again. No chance to take the lead. And we've got a 0-0 in our hands here for a few seconds until I thought Dan was going to do it. Eliken does, but it's going to fall back into Dan. And he does put it 1-0 up. We've got 33 seconds. And all of a sudden, Jaros are in the driving seat.
Dan, bro, the reaction coming up from him, the adaptability just to do something out of nothing, that was very, very impressive. And thanks to him, they are 1-0 up now. It's still 30 seconds left. Will they try and score another one, or will they try to defend here? As Mitchell is up, we pass to the side. It's Eliken to pass into the middle. Lumi's up. Lumi,
Nice little play there to get the equalizer there. Once again, Mifro, Eliken, and then straight on to Lumi, the free man pass. It goes in. Dan starts to challenge it, but he's too far back. 25 seconds to go. We're tied up once again, and it's took so long to find the first goal. We now have 2 goals in the next few seconds, and we've got 25 seconds to see if somebody can steal the winner before overtime.
Yeah. Mitchell now. Nice control off his corners. Eliken won't follow up. It's a pinch from both of them. But Dan will take his time, but he can't read the bounce very well. But Trent will be there to help his teammate. Nice clear control coming out from him. But Eliken will ball his back for Mitchell. Mitchell will take the shot, but Dan is there to save, to control on his goal line. That's risky. That's very risky. Apart from backing up. Now, a lot of boost. Probably touch the ground. No, Beck will keep this up. We'll try and continue this out as the pump is up. He's controlling it. He's keeping it up. But Mitchell will clear this to the ground, heading into overtime.
Can't keep up forever. That is the case. Here we go into overtime once again. Last time Jaros won it in overtime, and they've got a double tap on towards it. Going to fall towards Beck. Now Patroid, can he follow up? No, he's given himself an open net, and all of a sudden it's going to come straight off Eliken. It's going to go in the back of the net, and they're going to lose in overtime by an unfortunate scene of circumstance there, because they had the opportunity. It looked like it was going to be their goal, and no, 10 seconds in, and the winner goes the way of Darkness. They are 2-1 up in this series, looking to finish it here in the next match if they possibly can. If not, we go the distance and we go to that game 5 where we'll determine who will be our winners. But for now, off of that one again, Eliken with a phenomenal performance once again. 7 shots, 2 saves to go, the assist. But I'm surprised Lumi made 10 shots and only managed to get 1 goal though. So that's unfortunate. There's so much pressure going in from the Darkness roster, but Jaro just held everybody at bay. It's unbelievable.
10 shots.
I know, that's
10
crazy.
shots.
That is crazy.
That's 19 shots altogether to score 2 goals. That is insane. The defense from Yaz was impeccable. But that was Honestly, that was really unlucky coming out from Patriot. I feel like he should do something like that, especially considering he definitely was not beating allocating. You can't go for a challenge like that. You have to play it slow and next time because, yeah, it's this kind of mistakes that kind of cost you.
We have a little bit of chat in there. I don't know what that was there for a second, but yeah, there we go. Into our next match. We're going to Beckwith Park, and it's going to be the decider here. If Darkness win this, they win the series 3-1. If Jarrows win, we go to the game 5. It is all on this for this best of 5, and both teams will want to get the result that they need. This is where we go, because it started off with a massive goal fest in the way of Darkness, and we've seen it's kind of drought for a while. That last game took so long. It was in the last 36 before we've seen any goal being had. And then after that, we've seen 3 goals from the end. But there we go. Ellicott going to hit the crossbar. The pitting that comes off of the top of that bar. Unfortunate for Ellicott because it was an open goal and it would have been in if it was on target. Unfortunate for them, though, it is not. And that was starting off from their MVP performance in the last match. Continuing it to start with here. A shot on target already. But now, Mifro, he's missed it. See, in that game 1, he was hitting every single one of these balls. And this time, he just can't do it.
Yeah, allocating up, almost scoring that. Nice clear from Patriot as Beck, who played this up the sidewall for Dan. Dan controlling this as Mitchell who's on to challenge him. Allocating now. You have this ball onto the side. Patriot is up. Faked. Beat. Python actually challenges that. I feel like he could have continued that, but it's double coming out from Shadow here as Beck will get a good clear. Lumi will be there to try and follow up. Beating Patriot here. It's a pinch. Control. Into the middle, allocated, it's up, beat by Beck, into the sidewall, Dan is up, Beck is going for the bump, Beck misses the bump, yeah, as Mitchell dodges that out. Allocated will play this now, it bounces off the ceiling as it's a double coming out from both of them. Beck now trying to challenge it as Lumi follows. Dan now, it's a rule 1 coming out from Mitchell and Beck now. What can Dan do here? Yeah. Dan can actually beat 1, he can beat 2. No, but Lumi is a nice challenge. It's a 2v2 now. Lumi, he beats Patrick there. Lumi, all you have to do is take the shot on target. He missed it. Oh my god.
Lumi, what have you just done? He gets his teammate gets wiped out there as well. Now it's still a 2v2. Lumi is having to try and deal with it himself. Ellie Kitten, and they're just keeping this gentleman's agreement here as they push towards each other and make sure this 2v2 goes in. Off the crossbar again goes Ellie Kitten, and he just can't find the back of the net here. Or Darkness maybe just want to hold it and keep the 2v2 just now and just hopefully find the last minute goal, you know, just to keep it at 2v2 and then go, you know what, we'll just slot it in when we want to slot it in. But no, Ellie Kitten still trying to make that chance in towards the goal is not going to be there. Dan, no. Is he going to change things? No, he's not. Padre comes for the follow-up. Now it's an open net. He did a 2v2. Ellie Kitten hits it off the backboard, but the teammate gets demoed. Now the overall contest is done. We're back to that 3 versus 3, and this is where it starts to become more of a game once again as Mifro gets back into it, and he's going to get passed on from Lumi towards Ellie Kitten. Mifro's not going to be there quick enough, but the 50 comes in for him, and that's going to keep the pressure on. Jarrows, I'm going to have to try and get back. That just comes off wide of the post. Mifro takes the shot, and finally, he finds the back of the net once again.
Yeah, that was a good shot coming up from him. I feel like it's a nice pass from Alligator there. I'm back. No lot of boost. Couldn't do much there. But nice attempt coming up from Patriot also. But 1-0 up. There's still 2 minutes and a half left. We've seen Berserkers go 2-0 down and actually come back to win a game here. So maybe they can do that here, especially now that we're back into 3v3, maybe with a bit more stability following the kickoff. As Lumi will pass into Ellicott and Dan will leave this for Patriot. Patriot will take the shot. Nice bump, but it's a bit too late. Coming out from Beck. Lumi clearing this to the side will follow his own ball as Dan will take the clear. Mitchell with a nice play clear off the backboard here, but Beck pinching this. Probably could have done better there, I feel, but he's challenging this in a lot of boost. Patriot will play this off the corner. Mitchell will take his time here, controlling it. It's a pinch between Mitchell and Patriot, who bounce off the backboard here. Alligator will return it. It bounces down into waterfall as Alligator takes the shot and finds the second goal of the game.
There we go. Shadow Darkness taking a 2-goal lead. Exactly the way they want to do it here, because this could be the deciding match. They could win it here and win the series 3-1, and that'll be a good stand to be in on that scoreboard, because that's going to put them in that leaderboard potentially just above that Berserker Jars and into that playoff position. That's what they're playing for. And this is where it's all down to, because this is one of the 2 final weeks that we have remaining. The 4 games in total left, one of which is this. But Dan thinks, no, I don't care what this means for the scoreline. I'm going to try and get myself back in the game. And he does just that. The little fake there from Beck was nice. It puts off Mithril, but then Dan just slots it back out of the post in towards that corner. And go one back, at least the chance could well go their way. If they can find another goal, get it to overtime once again. Jaros has won it that way before.
We've seen this before. That's what I'm gonna say. As Dan will take the shot, it bounces down. Somebody will be there as Beck equalizes.
The equaliser is in. We're back to the same square. It was 2-0 lead, and all of a sudden the 2-2 it goes away. But there's a lot more time on the scoreboard this time. 1 minute and 18 seconds to play it out. Will we see more goals? Or are we going to go back to that overtime again, as we did see in game number 2? Where Jaros take the lead, but that's Ellie getting an opportunity slightly right off that goal. Beck, though, going to try and deal with the challenge. Comes in from Mithril. Hits the back off the backboard, but nobody's there to follow up. Gets the demo in as well, and then sends the ball back into his own half. Lumi, very little boost to work with, though. At least Mithril can pass it back down. Lumi puts it to the right-hand side. And every single player of Shadow Darkness at the moment are very, very low on boost. So they're trying to make these challenges, but not really anything to do with for now. Lumi had plenty of boost there. Starts off well, Patroid. Challenge is done. Beck pushes it further away as well and out of harm's way for now.
Yeah, I feel like Shadow, they're doing a bit too much. They're trying different types of plays, different things, trying to break this Berserker's defense, which has been solid so far. I feel like apart from a few mistakes here and there, but I feel like so far they've been solid, they've been confident. The communication has been on point, as you can see from their rotations. But Berserker said they're playing simple, especially on offense. Just getting simple clears, play off the backboard as simple as they can. But Patrick now controlling this for Ellie Kitten who gets the pass. But Mitchell, who played this, is onto the crossbar. He missed that. But Patrick now following this, demoed by Ellie Kitten. Ellie Kitten leaving this for Lumi. Lumi will leave this to touch the ground. Overtime. Yeah,
This is it. This is the replay of game number 2. The exact same way. 2-0 up for Darkness. Back to 2-2. And Jaros came out on top last time round. Are we going to see this though? Ellie Kitten once again trying to get some shots. He's already on 8 shots again in this game and yet to convert so many. Only one going the way of Ellie Kitten after all these opportunities. They're going to have to start slotting these in. They've got to try to stop being too fancy with it and just find the back of that net. Patroid is there in the corner to make the save from that one. Lumi goes to challenge it. Ellie Kitten is beaten here by Beck as well, but it's going to drop down onto the face of Mithril. Where does the ball fall? Ellie Kitten, once again, as always, it's always Ellie Kitten at this moment in time, keeping the team alive. Mithril passes it towards Dan. No, it's going to be an unfortunate position there for him, but bounce off the ground, might go the way of Lumi, might go away Ellie Kitten's way once again, drops down, no, and nobody is there. Mithril can't deal with Beck, makes a save.
Patrick now will follow this as Mitchell will pick the boost in front of him, leaving Patrick boostless, bouncing off the ceiling. Clearing this to the side is Dan as Lumi will be there to control this. Actually, Beck will challenge him. Beck will control this. Beck will get another challenge. No, Dan is there to follow his teammate. But Kitten now is up, passing this off the ceiling to Lumi. Lumi will take the shot, and he bounces off the crossbar again. Mitchell is up now, a lot of boosts will miss that. But it's double coming up from the Berserkers boys here. Beck will pick up this 100, trying to take his time here, will miss the ball actually as he has to jump in time. But Patrick now getting the clear to down, challenged by Mitchell. Mitchell now, a lot of boosts. There's another double coming up from Berserkers here. Beck now, a lot of boosts. We're trying to beat someone here. We'll beat everybody. He bounces to the other side, but it's not on target as Mitchell will be back in time. A lot of boosts. We're trying to control this. Mitchell now challenged by Beck. Beck!
Oh, he just couldn't bend it like Beckham. That is what he couldn't do there in the corner. Sadly for them, it's going to have to be another chance. They're trying to keep their fight alive here in this best of 5. They can't lose a goal because that's them finished. But if they get themselves the goal, they get themselves a game of 5, and they get themselves a chance to win the series still, considering the position they were been in from game 1. They've kept themselves in it, their defensive stayed strong, and it is still doing so in overtime right here, as you're already seeing once again Ellie getting close to that 10 shots on target once again. But overall, they've got so many shots on target and still yet to convert because the defense has been so strong. Beck being one of the massive standouts in defense as well, with so many saves going their way. Lumi tries to head it up towards Mikkel. Mikkel runs out of boost for the challenge. Lumi now kicks it back towards. It's going to drop down right in front of goal, but nobody is there from Darkness. Patroid, though, doesn't get the touch. Beck sends it towards the goal line of Darkness. Lumi, though, gets the intercept. Has to challenge it towards mid-map. Elliot knows not to go for that early, thankfully, and that'll keep the ball and the possession in their hands for now.
Back now with an air dribble, gets in a 50. Elliot will pick up the 100 return for this, but Pacha will be early to that. Playing this as Lumi will try to control this, misses that, but Pacha will take the shot. Mitchell will save that instead. But Dan now with another shot as Lumi on the backboard with 0 boost will save that also. Will not get 100 here as Pacha will early challenge Elliot in here. Now, beat. Everyone is beat. Elliot has to be one more, but Dan is there. Lots of time. Beating one. But it's a shot from Lumi!
Oh, Lumi gets the intercept, gets the challenge in, and there's 2 players back, but they just can't deal with it because it was so late in noticing, and it pings the corner. It is unfortunate for Jaros. Their defense was so strong in them last 3 games. The amount of shots they had to deal with from Darkness was crazy, like so crazy. But Lumi comes out on top for your MVP in that one. Crazy enough, there was another LA Kitten with 9 shots on target and only 1 conversion. So, I mean, there was too many goals. There was too many shots and chances to be had there, but well done and fair play to Jaros for that game. A good amount of defense done, just not enough to win the game or win the series. Darkness take the lead, and that maybe means that they take the chance to go and leapfrog them in that leaderboard as well.
Yeah, I want to say, like, I feel like this game, this series, apart from the first game, was definitely really close. I'll take it as a 2-1 win from Darkness. I'm not even gonna lie, because I feel like y'all, they entered this game with the right mindset, with the right game plan. Sure, they sat back a lot, but the thing was that they were able to save a lot of the shots, and it definitely showed. The Darkness ended up breaking down sometimes and ended up conceding a lot of counter attacks. But at the end of the day, some misplays, some unlucky clears, some unfortunate whiffs and 50s. Darkness ended up taking the series.
Yeah, and Lumi comes your series MVP as well. 2 assists, 6 saves, 6 demos, 4 goals, 20 total shots, and a total of 18,041 points on the board. Well done to Lumi. That was our first match of our 3 matches over here on RSC Week 8. It is going to be another matchup, though, coming your way from the Elites once again. And it's going to be Centurions up against Shenron. We're going to see different casters on the screen as well soon enough. So we will see you back shortly. But Gaz, once again, another great series we've had on our hands. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way of our predictions. I was so close, but yeah, just one game out. It wasn't as close as it was going to be, but we're almost there. But yeah, we'll see you after the short break. Catch you soon.
We're making up, we're breaking up. I don't know why. I know you've been fooling around. You better watch out, you better watch out. Why you gotta do me like that? 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 Why you gotta do me like that?
You're my perfection. See, I need you like the radio. You keep the beat alive. Gotta have you like the stereo. I need you in my life. Hey, you're my obsession. 'Cause baby, you're my melody so sweet. Hey, you're my obsession. Hey, you're my obsession. Listen.
What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we leave and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else. What if we stay? I want you to know that you never What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else. What's on your mind? Can I read it from your eyes? Can we lay and make the time stand still? What if we stay? Pretend there's nothing else.
Just break my heart. Just break my What do you feel? Chasing the feelings from ghosts in the sky. I hope they don't mind. I need you near. Something to hold someone I can call mine. Please don't break my Just break my
My tears like rain run down the window. I repeat your name, losing no wisdom. My tears like rain run down the window. I repeat
I don't wanna be on my own. It always goes much better in my head, but the feelings end up wasted. So I'm sorry for breaking down when you said you got me. I'm used to being let down, but I'm hoping if I'm falling too fast, then you'll catch me. You'll catch me. So I'm sorry that you might have to see I'm not flawless. I promise that I'm facing my problems. If I'm falling too fast, will you catch me? Will you catch me before I crash? I'm so afraid that you'll run out of patience. Trust me, I know how it feels to be hopelessly waiting.
And welcome back, everyone, to the RSC 15. It is a pleasure to be joining you for the second match of the day, alongside GM. And, well, speaking of GM, he is in fact the GM of this team that we have playing today. We have Fort Templar taking on Alpha Surge, I believe, and it is going to be... It's going to certainly be an interesting match. It could be a very quick one, but we'll see how this is going to unfold. But hello, GM. Welcome to the desk alongside me. And how's things going?
Yeah. Firstly, thanks for having me. And for Centurions, at least, things are going well. Regardless of what happens between now and the end of the season, they've mathematically guaranteed at least a play-in spot. But with him currently sitting top of the table, I'm sure that they'll be aiming a bit higher than that. Currently sitting 10 wins and 4 losses, although their series against Deception White hasn't officially been logged. I have been reliably informed that they have lost that series 3-1, so they're currently 10-5 right now. And depending on how All-Star got on against Summit, they might well be second as far as we're aware, depending on how that result has gone. But Shenron, by comparison, are all the way down in 9th. 5 wins to their name. Play-ins are technically still possible, but it is a long, long way to go for them. And on paper, you'd expect that Centurions should be winning this quite comfortably.
Yeah, I think in terms of, we're talking about Alpha Surge's possibility of qualifying for playoffs. Like you say, it's a long way away, right? And Alpha Surge, for me, is a team who has had these, sort of blips of success, but they really need to start putting things together against the top tier teams, because every single one of their wins has been pretty much against teams in the bottom 6, with their sort of highest quality win being against Dexterity. So, in terms of improving their season score and getting towards a playoffs or a play-in spot, they need to be just looking to beat teams who sort of in those top rankings and picking up those high quality wins, because they don't have a lot of chances left to pick them up. And well, what is a better opportunity to pick up high quality wins than taking on the #1 seed in the Ignis Conference? I mean, it doesn't get better than that when it comes to the opportunities. And well, Fort Templar certainly is a team that is looking very, very in form in their recent games, and we'll see how it goes. But I think we better jump into predictions quickly and just see where we both stand on this match. I think it's going to be pretty obvious where things are going to be leaning towards. But GM, if you could give us your prediction.
I know. I believe Centurions will win, but Shenron, I think, will put up a bit of a fight. I'm going to say 3-1 to Centurions.
All right then. Well, you see, I normally bring a big glass of water for these casts, because sometimes they can go on quite long, quite lengthy, and they can be quite interesting games. But this one, as you can see, I brought a bit of a smaller glass today, and that's because I think we're going for a 3-0. I think this is going to be 3-0 to Fort Templar. I think Centurions are walking away with the win. Call me an Alpha Surge hater, but I'm going to go with what makes sense, and that is what makes sense today. So, no underdog story. Fort Templar 3-0, that's what I've got coming in. But let's see how things are going to develop, because the games and the stories can only be written on the pitch. And, well, we'll see if Alpha Surge can prove me wrong. And hopefully I don't have a load of people coming for my head by the end of this series.
No, but at the end of the day, we only have to go off the stats, the standings, how the players are on paper. And as the Shenron, things... it never really got going for them. They've had a rebuild and things have, even after the rebuilding, they've picked up a couple of wins here and there, but it's never really amounted towards any sustained momentum. You can never really feel them really coming back into the season. So, is it too little too late for them? As it is awkward, but Rowell able to deal with it, and it is a bit of a youth versus experience match, this one, as Rowell and Moggy especially, huge quantity, huge amount of experience in RSC and ARS formats as well. But Shenron, I don't believe Noak has ever played in RSC before, and Ayan, I'm not sure how long he's been playing in RSC, certainly not as long as Moggy has, so maybe that bit of extra familiarity has helped Centurions so far this season.
Oh well, Centurions, a team who, like you say, is very, very versed with the RSC as a whole, and already showing their worth at the start of this game. As that is going to be Moggy picking up the first goal here for Centurions. And I mean, I got the chance to cast this Centurions roster in their match against Kings a couple of weeks ago, and one thing I noticed with this team is a lot of the offense is coming from this Moggy and Nick Geo, sort of back and forth between them. And it's Moggy often picking up these goals, picking up this sort of entry, I guess you could say, for Centurions, and sort of getting the dirty work done in the front side of the field. So Centurions are going to be relying on that Geo, and obviously roll back, holding down the back lines and making sure that defense is going to be locked down tightly. And up for this one, now going on the offense he is, but playing that 50 well, just keeping this pressure going for Centurions. And let's see if Centurions can let's see if Shenron can find a breakaway, because they're being put under ridiculous pressure so far.
I mean, to be fair, they did well just to keep it out. I mean, I thought that Centurions were going to grab their second goal a few seconds earlier from opportunity. They could have another one as a shot from Worrell, but realistically, look, the Shenron defense is always going to have that covered. Not the greatest amount of power on it, but there's not much space, not much time to get a convincing shot away, as it does go middle. But again, the touch from AN is there. But if the Centurions can keep mounting this pressure, keep looking to get this passes away, it's back to Moggy. But all three Shenron players committed, just taking no chances. It's making sure that Centurions do not get another goal, at least just to hold out that little bit longer. For as long as it stays at one goal, Shenron will always believe there's always a chance to just get a goal, courtesy of either defensive slip-up or just a quick counter-attack. There's always a precarious situation when it's only a one-goal deficit, especially in the first game.
Yeah, anything can happen, and see which of these players is going to sort of be the catalyst to make something happen. Right now, it's all for Templar, but Alpha Surge still have a chance to turn things around and write the storyline with their own sort of pen here. And we'll see if they're going to be able to do that. Nowak just trying to continue that sort of pressure, but there's no one back, and that looks like the third man won't get back in time, and roll back is just going to double this lead.
And roll back, despite Ian hurtling back to the back lines, it wasn't quite enough, as it's just caught too far forwards. That Centurions grabbing their second goal, and for Shenron, still a bit of time, but their task has been made a lot harder. But the shot on from Nowak, I believe it was, unfortunately nowhere near, and Centurions could go for counter-attack, but Moggy has been shut down, but still able to get back on the possession, but instead it's a loose pass, and Shenron can clear, but again it just doesn't really lead to anything. They get the initial touches, they get the ball clear, but then they just can't really develop from that. They try and link up, courtesy of Ayan. Have a shot from Joke, but it's saved by Roel. And this is the best that Shenron have looked so far in this game one, but it's still not been enough yet.
No, it's not quite been enough to break down the defense. Now's the opportunity though, and Joke's not going to miss that one. That lead's going to be cut in half, and still 1 minute to work with. Very, very good chance here of a Shenron comeback, but they've got to now take it into their own hands and continue off of that sort of momentum that they've just been able to gain. A first goal, signs of life here, but what are you going to do about it?
Well, it's all well and good having signs. Those signs need to point to an outcome that favours you in this series and to the rest of the season as a whole. It is a long way back for Shenron, but like I said, not impossible. It's still a mathematical possibility for them to get play-ins. Of course, we still need to know how they got on against Summit earlier on in the week, a team that also looking to keep their slim chances of play-ins alive, as Nick into middle, but strong clearance away, and Rowe looking to play it back, but instead it's intercepted by Joker. Now Nowak with the equaliser, and Shenron have levelled it up from 2 goals down.
Well, what a play that was. A pinch, a double commit coming through from Centurions, and that just opened things up there for Shenron to fire home that equaliser. 2-2, 18 seconds left. Is it going to be a winner now, or is overtime inbound?
Well, I mean, build up to that second goal, there's a mix-up between Moggy and Rowe. Moggy thought he was just going to be able to get the challenge in, but Rowe tried to play the back pass. Moggy wasn't expecting it, but the save from Nick. Can they conjure up something on the counter-attack? It is stopped at the midfield, and it will bounce just before anyone can get there. And this overtime could be so crucial. If Shenron win this, then it could be such a huge catalyst for not only the series, but for the last couple of series and the rest of the season, as they are yet again called into action defensively, as Roel playing it to middle, but Ayan strong clearance away, and now they can counter-attack as it goes into middle, as Ayan towards the corner, back to Nowak, looking for a pass to Joke, instead goes alone, but instead it just doesn't really lead to anything, and they're forced back into their own half yet again.
Well, let's see who's going to start things off in this series with a positive scoreline. Nowak just trying to get this down over to this far corner and send Centurions spinning a little bit to try and reclaim possession. They've been able to off of the back of that demo, and Moggy's found himself in a spot to pass that infield. Roll can't quite make the connection though, and it's well defended by Ain, but already over to the back borders. It's a little bit of a switch of play here, and Alpha Surge just looking to take things into their own hands, but will they be allowed the opportunity to take things any further? Shot coming through, defended well by Nick, and just keeping that one out for the time being, but can they switch things around? Moggy's found the breakaway, but that's straight back over to Alpha Surge, and it's just a little bit of sort of passing plays between the two teams, I guess you could sort of say here, GM, and no one's quite found that sort of moment yet, found that sort of opportunity. Is this the moment? No, it's off the top of the car and sent away.
Well, such quick thinking and such great reflexes from Nick to react to that ball into middle. If he didn't, it'd have been an always certain goal, an always certain game ender for Shenron, and he's looking to not get caught out as Rowell is back to support, but no, it completely misses. It could still set up for Ayan off the back, but Rowell does get the clear, and Joe takes it to his own corner, looking to get it past the challenger Moggy. Indeed he does, gets a second touch as well, but instead Nick into middle, and instead it just breaks down, and we go back to that status quo of both teams plugging away, both teams trying to get that chance, but the final ball just isn't there for either team.
Emma's coming through, but that's not really going to be a factor as the reset has sort of come through from both teams now, and it's all just down at this midfield game. Now it's sort of filtering around this box area for Centurions, but they can't quite find that finishing touch, that sort of cherry on top of the cake to really finish off all the work that they've put in this game. They started with that 2-0 lead, and will they end with a victory, or will it be an Alpha Surge comeback here in game number 1? Certainly stacking up to be that way is Joke's going to now earn his Saviour medal, but will it find a result on the other end? Yes, it will! Alpha Surge snatch away the first game here from Fort Templar, and it's off the back of Ayan's shot there, straight over the top of Nick. After a 3-minute overtime, game number 1 has already set the scene for this game.
Shenron, they had to dig deep. They had to spend a lot of a game penned inside their own half, almost on the goal line, making save after save, but they stood firm, they held their ground, and when the opportunity came, they most certainly took it. They were outshot 13-9, but that didn't stop them, as Centurions, for all their attacking intent, just so many times the final ball was lacking. There's so many passes played into nil, but just too many times, just no one there on the end of it. Maybe we thought it was too risky, as they maybe anticipated that a Shenron player would be there to intercept, which to be fair indeed there was. Maybe they just needed to play it. It's all well and good playing passes into middle. Sometimes you just need to go a bit more direct and then hope that the save from one of the Shenron players just spills out into middle, and they could just have an easy follow-up, and then they'll just be awkward. But instead, just Shenron just being able to sit back and defend and just bide their time and take their chance on the counter-attack.
I do have to apologise here to Conflict. You guys have been able to grab a game, but Fort Templar, the last 4 series they've won have been a 3-1. So that was obviously just a warm-up game. It's now going to be Fort Templar stepping up in this match and getting themselves that gentleman's sweep. But will they be able to do that? Or have Alpha Surge maybe got a little more to say about it? We'll see. And Conflict very confident in his squad here, saying that defense wins games, but will it win this one? Because already the offense is starting to come through. That's an incredible outplay by Noak, but not quite able to get it all the way. And already Centurions are being put under pressure. They've got to try and escape this, and it's already a double commit on the saves. It's into a little bit of panic off the start of game number 2 here, GM. And how are Fort Templar going to look to stabilise?
Well, I mentioned about Shenron having a complete rebuild, and it's still not really having much of an effect on their fortunes. But is it finally starting to come back, or is it an open net for Nick?
Here's a goal scorer. At the end of the day, you can't count out the goal scorer of Fort Templar, getting himself that first goal here for Centurions. And now we're going to look to see what sort of response we're going to get from Alpha Surge. Is it going to be something of last game, or are they going to once again go 2-0 down and have to look for a bit of a comeback here? So already Centurions have that little bit of momentum behind them. But, you know, if Shenron want to do anything this series, talk about coming from 9th place and sort of snatching away from momentum. They come from an underdog story, and that's exactly the sort of character role they're playing into here. They were able to sort of get an underdog win in the last match, coming back from 2-0 down to win 3-2 in overtime. Can they continue that narrative here?
I mean, maybe they want to do it the same way they did it in game 1. I mean, they were 2-0 down in that, came back to win. Are they going for the same thing, yet another remontada, as they call it? As it's not really the ideal route to victory, but they're still able to make it work, as instead it looked like there's an attack for Centuria's building, but instead just no one on the end of it looked like there's a player just backing away at the last minute. Maybe he just didn't have confidence in themselves to get on the end of it. Maybe it is that issue of confidence. Maybe they've been rattled by losing that game one, but they need to put it behind them. This is a test of mental fortitude that they need to pass if they want to be considered one of the contenders to win the whole thing. But there's still this week and the next of league play, but of course in play-ins and playoffs, all that goes completely out the window. As Moggy looking for the pass back, but instead just no one there, none of his teammates looking to get on the end of it. Maybe it's a bit too early to play conservative, or maybe they just want to shut up shop. Maybe they just don't want to give Shenron any opportunities to get any shots on target, as they are starting to build something, but instead saved by Roel, and Centurions keep their lead for now.
Oh, Moggy going to start taking over. Is he going to be able to find the double? Of course he is! Nets that 2-0 lead here for Fort Templar. And when you give him an open back wall just like that, after he got past that first defender, he's going to hit that every single day.
Well, I talked about preserving a 1-0 lead. I mean, Moggy just completely scrapped that idea and thought, no, we're going to go one better, quite literally, and made it two. Not only that, but with a double tap and from a tight angle as well on the second touch. It is such an impressive contribution, and now he's up against Joe, gets a decent 50, sets up for Nick, but shot on target saved by Noah quite convincingly in fact, and Jake just gets beaten to it as Shenron forced to just retreat into their back lines as it drops down dangerously. Moggy went for it, but he was smothered by, I believe it was Noak, but they come forwards again. It's a good save by Ayan, and now Moggy can get another double. It's off the backboard as two players commit, trying to get the counter-attack away, but instead Royal great control in there to stop Joke from getting anything dangerous there, and Centurions looking to do a much better job of controlling this game compared to the previous one, and Shenron have been limited to very little in terms of shooting opportunities so far.
Yeah, so they have now. This is an attempt. Backboard, fake the shot, let the beast out! And that's exactly what they're going to do.
Of course I had to mention that they've been loaded to very little just before. Of course it happens. But Centurions will be hoping that this time they don't let the 2-goal lead slip, but instead Roel is back. And it's going to be huge for them. Oh, it's off the post! Would have been a calamitous own goal. They are able to just about hold out, but instead it's a potential mistake from Joke, but they don't get punished for it. It's a brilliant fake by Nick. It's just so much stuff happening. It's just, and now it's going to be a test of composure. Who can hold their nerve? Will anyone panic at the last few seconds? Can Shenron find that crucial moment to force overtime again? Or will Centurions hold on? Will they have nerves of steel? It does hit the ground, and Centurions do hold out this time.
They do. They hold out this time by themselves. That 1-1 series, and now we have ourselves sort of restored to reality, I guess we can say. We have ourselves a best of three from this point onwards, and that's more the sort of performance from Centurions we were expecting. I think Shenron, they still played that sort of pretty well, and you know, that first goal from Centurions just came down to an unfortunate mistake there on the side of Shenron. But I think what these teams have shown us so far this series, GM, is this can really go either way. It's not as one-sided as we might think, and I'm excited for the rest of the series. I mean, when you look at the sort of water supply still left, we don't have a lot left here, so I'm hoping for a banger series, but at the same time, I'm kind of hoping we can get this done quickly. Otherwise, before Game 5, you might see me running off of screen to fill up the water. But we'll see how it goes. I might be running on fumes at the end of the day. We'll see. But Sovereign Heights inbound, game number 3 inbound. And whose day is it going to be in the sun here? We'll find out. But Centurions with a very convincing second game there to sort of manage a bit of a comeback here after that first game heartbreak.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you do raise a good point. It is very important to stay hydrated, not just in terms of Rocky, but
Absolutely.
in all aspects of life, really. As let's hope all these players are sufficiently hydrated. As Moggy just completely missing. It sets up for Joke inside the first 5 seconds. Shenron grab a goal.
Ran out of fuel, took his foot off the accelerator. Maybe his car wasn't hydrated enough, and unfortunately, that's gonna grant the first goal over to Alpha Surge. Well, not unfortunately, I sound biased there, but unfortunately for him, then it's going to be Alpha Surge grabbing the first goal. But there we go, there's the redemption, and already things are sort of tied back up here and restored to sort of an equal start. Can we just roll back the timer, roll back the goal lead? It's 0-0, everyone. We've still got game number 3 starting now, and we'll see who takes it.
Yeah. Let's just completely forget the last 10-15 seconds or so. Do we just restore it to like 4-5 minutes? Instead, it's Moggy pulled off a double tap in game 2 and a ridiculous redirect in game 3 off the backboard. You just cannot get better than that. The crossbar and the post. Such ridiculous placement. And from 1-0 down, now 2-1 up. Absolutely incredible. As Moggy, he does have experience in the highest tier, the master tier. And I guess that experience sort of coming through with a shot of that quality.
Yeah, I mean, the reigning champion of RSC 14 now trying to see if he can double up on that in this season, but he's got a little bit more contention to go through this time than he had last time, and it all starts here in this game against Alpha Surge. Already, obviously, a team who've locked themselves in to, I believe, playoffs, you said, right? Play-ins, and looking to lock themselves into playoffs with a couple more wins on the board. And it all starts with this game here, and leading 2-1 currently in this game number 3. And maybe by the end of this game number 3, if it continues to go the same way, it might be 2-1 in the series. It's looking very positive for them, but we'll see if that's going to continue, as Jokes found a bit of a breakaway here. That should be put to a stop quite easily, though, and Nick's going to find that touch over at the corner. Back over to rollback, and a little bit of a double commit coming through there, so that could cause them a little bit of problems, and it might just do that, because rollback tried to pre-jump it, and unfortunately for him, wasn't quite able to make contact. We're all tied up here on Sovereign Heights, and I mean, this game is proving so close, and at the end of it, all it's coming down to, GM, is silly mistakes on both sides.
Yeah, it started from that double commit, just completely unnecessary. And in the end, it resulted in Raw being in such an awkward situation again! As Shenron, they're in front, they're behind, and now they're back in front. The lead has changed hands 3 times already. It is crazy what is happening. Just an absolute bucket load of goals. And maybe both teams ought to start focusing their attention on how to defend, how to stop the flow of goals. Or maybe just fancy themselves to breach their opposition defence even more times than what they already have been. It really is the fate of destiny in their own hands. How they turn the complexion of this series into what they want it to be, and now roll into middle, but instead neither of his teammates are there. And is this game 3 finally going to settle down, or has the flow of goals only suffered a temporary setback? This is a good 50 by Moggy, and now Roel trying to carry the ball towards all zone, looking to play past Nick. It's already up, and it's off the corner. Moggy straight down. There's a team there. Nova backed off, and it could be dangerous, but Nick just about able. He's had to actually reverse into a ball and I think both teams can breathe a bit now that maybe the adrenaline is starting to seep out, and they can finally, the heart rates will start to come down a bit after that absolute cascade, that avalanche of goals in that first minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen everything this game. I mean, we've already seen a couple of goals. We might see one more here, but no, it's going to be taken away and off the goal line. But I mean, we've seen goals. We've seen defensive blunders. I think maybe at one point we were maybe wishing we could get some prospects in here, teach them a thing or two, and that's a brilliant shot there from Noak. That's a shot that you will not see replicated by prospects, and that's a shot that Noak is going to double up on that lead there. Well, not double up, but grant another goal here to Shenron and just increase that lead ever so much more and make this a little bit more of a difficult task here for Centurions to come back from here, GM.
Yeah, but they'll be hoping that they can do to Shenron what Shenron did to them. Although, that being said, there were 4 goals fewer compared to this game. But maybe the fact that there are so many goals, the fact they've already scored twice, it gives them that belief that they can get 2 more. Of course, 1 minute, it is a reasonably long time in Rocket League. Of course, so much can happen. As straight down, Roll does get a touch, but landed very awkwardly. And Nick, 50 straight down. It's off a wall, and Roll looking to pay the pass to Moggy. Indeed, he does. Off the corner, but there's no one there to follow up, and Nick still hesitating, still waiting for someone else to go, and it's just that hesitation, that delay that has gone on for too long. That is what has been hurting Centurions so many times, just the hesitation to go, just not relying on instinct, and just maybe being a bit too cautious going forward. So sometimes you just need to send it, just outpace opposition, just reach a loose ball first. As does get sent forward, back off the corner. Rowell will try and read it. It's off the backboard, but no, it makes a clearance, but sent back in by Moggy. Again, a Shenron defender is there. That might just be enough for them to secure game 3 and to put themselves 2-1 up in the series. These last couple of seconds will tick down. It is guaranteed that Shenron will go up 2-1 in the series.
Yeah, the team who has not gained a quality win against a quality team so far this league play might just do it. 1 game away is how far away Alpha Surge Shenron find themselves from continuing to keep their playoff hopes alive and gaining a win against the number 1 team in their conference. But 1 game away is still where that stands, and that will not be achieved until they do just that. They've got 2 chances, 2 sort of bites at the apple here, and we'll see if they're going to be able to do it. But that was such a sort of brilliantly executed game there from Shenron all around. I mean, when you look at sort of how they navigated that match, there was very few times in that game where I thought, oh, Centurions, they've got a good amount of pressure on Shenron here. They're creating some, very dangerous chances that could start to amount to goals. When you look at Centurions, they were only able to put up 3 shots that game, and 2 of those transcended into goals. They could not get out of their defense, in terms of turning that around and creating shooting opportunities. And it was just this Alpha Surge team running away with it. But now we get to see if they can sort of lock down that performance a 3rd and final time, or if Centurions are going to take us the distance and send me running for a 2nd glass of water.
Well, regardless of what happens, like I said at the start of game 3, always important to stay hydrated, and not just for us, but also for the players to keep those concentration levels high. And Shenron, will be up to them to finish the job, and for them to hope to not go to game 5, as if it does, you'd fancy Centurions to finish a job as it is, when Centurions are the team that were the pre-match favourites, as Moggy is putting in overwork even on 0 boost, just looking to be a pain in the backside to the Shenron players. as it drops down. And Moggy going in, but instead, it's a really good challenge. It's off the backboard, and Shenron being pushed back into their own half straight away in these first 45 seconds.
Yeah, first 45 seconds certainly go in the way of Centurions here so far, but are they going to be able to keep that up? Because now we see a counter-attack. Now we see Joke pre-jumping that a little bit, but not really working out. And it was just a solo play that was continued there. Not to any success, but seeing it sort of forced back out of the defense here by Centurions, and looks like they won't get very far. Fake shot coming through, but that's off target a little bit. And Shenron are just going to look to continue this sort of pressure, this sort of playstyle that they've been able to lock Centurions down on for the past sort of couple of games here, but things have not worked out as well for them so far in the opening minute and a half, and they'll still stay at a 0-0 scoreline. A little bit less sort of trigger happy with the goals so far are both teams off the start of game 4, and I think a lot of that is just going to come down to both teams. They've been able to warm up, get into the groove of this series, and the mistakes, I don't want to say they're no more, because I feel like someone's going to make an awful mistake after I say that, but they are sort of reduced, I guess you can say. Now Moggy's got a shot, now he's got the double touch off of the save, and that's the first goal over to Centurions.
Well, at this point in the last game, there were 5 goals already, so certainly a marked improvement defensively from both sides, but it was Centurion's first shot. Technically a second, but it isn't registered for some reason. But regardless, off the back of her second shot, they get the first goal of this game. But Shenron tried to counter-attack off the kickoff straight away, but the pass was a bit too much for Ayan to shoot straight away. Still trying to pass it back, but just Noak too far back to do anything with it. And now Jokes isolated 1-on-1 against Nick, but still able to stand strong. And there's a 50 into middle. Moggy goes up but misses. And now the shot from Nick is saved by Noak. And Shenron again having to dig deep defensively.
Yeah, having to dig deep, having to sort of pull out the bag of tricks. But that's exactly what you've got to do if you want to defeat the #1 team in your conference. And now they're looking to go on the counter-attack. Is that in? No, Nick's got it cleared, got it covered. And Centurions are on the breakaway, but maybe it's just going to be turned around. Maybe Shenron have something more to say on this attack as Ain tries to reach for the stars, but not going to find anything on that occurrence. And it's going to be beat back. Novak over to this back wall looking for the double. Not able to find it. Jokes there, though. He's looking to try and continue a bit of a play here. And everyone on Centurions feels like they're scrambling around on the defense, just trying to get this out. The boost has been depleted, but now they're able to recover. Now they're able to start looking on their counter-attack. Nick's going to be sent packing a little bit there, and Rollback's going to have to come into action, but it feels like a bit of a scrappy series here. Scrappy game 4 from both teams. Redirect attempted, but that's over to the backboard. Nick's got that covered. Rollback tries to find a redirect, but it is just going to be over to Moggy now, who's going to roll it in, bowl it down the alley, and this time Centurions will be rewarded.
Well, Joke thought he did enough, but the bump from Roel and Moggy just exactly in the right place. Well, probably the easiest goal he scored this series. Near enough an open net, close range as well, and that goal wasn't especially tough, and you'd always bet every amount of money you had on him scoring that. It's exactly what happened, and now Centurions can look forward to a 2-0 lead, but this time they'll be hoping that they don't let it slip, as Moggy makes a brilliant save. And now on the counter-attack, Nick just loses control at the last moment, but no, not exactly convincing. And it sets up for Moggy off the crossbar, and Nick can't quite get it first time around as Roel the back pass to Moggy, but Joke is on it instead. Can't quite get there, does it the second time, and now Noak off the backboard. It's awkward in front of a goal, but Ayan just can't get it on target. But Shenron still looking to keep the ball in Centurion's half. Never mind. It could set up for another Centurions attack.
Feels like game 5 might be on the horizon here, but does Shenron have something to say about it in the final dying seconds of this match? Let's see. Joke to the back wall, doesn't have boost, so won't be able to double that one in. And now it's just going to be taken into the hands of Centurions. They've got everything they need. They've got possession. They've got a 2-goal lead. You have to feel this is game 5. You have to feel that I will be back in 30 seconds or so. And you have to feel like we need to stay hydrated, because somehow, some way, this is going in game 5, and I will see you very soon.
Well, Centurions, could be the ideal moment for them to go and finish the job. As for Shenron, again, they were forced to play deep. They were forced to sit back. And they had to defend an awful lot, but just wasn't quite enough. Centurions always had, contrary to games 1 and 3, they were actually able to find that final ball. It came together those couple of times, and it was enough. And not only that, they were able to hold off the advances of Shenron when they were able to get forwards. And you would fancy them to go out and finish it in game 5. Shenron, their chance to finish the series might have just been done, but of course there is that game 5. But like I said, now that Centurions have won game 4, the odds are in their favour, as we do go to game 5 and Centurions looking to waste no time whatsoever, as it looks like we are headed to the Champions Field, as we always do, on series point, as the players are in and will take us in to game 5. The kickoff awaits. Could be the most crucial kickoff, as Shenron, their play-in hopes hanging by a thread. Centurions, their playoff hopes are very much still there, as Joke making a save early on, as Moggy trying to get in ahead of Ayan, just not quite able to, as off the wall, Joke into middle, but strong clearance by Moggy. It could be all the way in, but Ayan had it covered just about. And now Noak takes it in stride, but can't quite get the flip reset. And now Moggy takes over. Will he have a teammate in support? Does get the 50, so it bounces down off of seeing Roel going up for a challenge. And now Noak, he doesn't quite get the second touch. Sets up for Joke anyway, but saved onto the bar by Moggy. And now it's quite a frantic start. Both teams getting a couple of shots away. Both teams putting in some good saves early on. It's a good level of action for a game 5 in the first minute or so. It sets up for Moggy, but saved by Ayan. Can Roel get back, or will it just trickle in? He doesn't have any boost, but instead Nick makes a save, and now followed by Noak. It's just wide, and such a climatic moment in that game 5. Shenron will be wondering just how they haven't scored. Will they get another chance? It's a pass to Ayan, and that time, again it's saved. This time by Roel. And again he has to make the clearance, but straight to Noak. Again it's saved. This time by Nick. And now it's Centurions who are having to put in the work defensively. Is there a follow-up? It is to Roel. Takes his time. It goes out to the left. It's a good back pass by Nick. Onto Moggy. Looking to get ahead of Noak. It drops straight down to Roel, but the shot is wide. Have to wonder, is Hodge back? Does he have his water?
I've been back the entire game. But we are back. We are ready to go in game number 5 here. And, well, so far this season, only 2 teams have taken this Fort Templar roster to a game 5. One of them illusory, one of them 20R. And the record for Fort Templar currently stands at a 1-win, 1-loss rate. How will this story be written here by the 9th place team in Elite against the number 1 seed? But well, we'll find out how it's gonna happen. But who is gonna be the player to do it is my question. We've seen standout performances from every single player on this pitch, and every single player has really given us a reason to believe in them coming into this game number 5. But who is gonna get the last laugh at the end of it? So far, pressure from both sides, but now that ball's going to drop in front of the net. No one's there, so this is going to give Alpha Surge a chance, give them some possession. and give them an opportunity to start rolling this one down the field. Moggy, though, going to be able to collect that. 25 boost still to work with, so can chase it a little bit, but just going to opt, get that boost, get out of there, let his teammates come in, and keep that rotation clean as you like it. But is that going to cost them? No! I thought that was going to be tragic for a minute, GM, but they are going to hold on for now.
Yeah, Moggy will be thanking his lucky stars that Centurions have not conceded. And again, it's a save by Nurk. Actually, it's Nurk's first save of this Game 5, which I do find hard to believe. Every single player in this lobby has made at least one save. Shows just how much pressure both these teams have put on them. Just how well both teams have defended. I do struggle to believe that it is still 0-0. As again, Moggy is able to maintain that off the backboard again. There's a pinch clearance towards the corner, but Noak into middle. Nick goes up, does make the clearance, and Rowell forced to commit perhaps when he didn't quite want to. And 45 seconds left. Can either side find any goal? Or will we have overtime to settle what, in my view at least, has probably been one of the most tense Game 5s of the season, at least on stream?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that back wall sort of display that we saw there from the Centurions sort of looked like we're in the Year 7 playground playing one touch with a football. But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is going to come down to one touch. One shot, one goal here to decide this series, because this timer, it's going to trickle down. But will it be in regulation, or is overtime beckoning here on Champions Field? It's going to be sent away by a rollback, but Joke might have something to say about this. Looks like it will hit the ground, though. An overtime is going to be calling for us here in Game 5. Potential season on the line for Alpha Surge. Who's going to be pulling something out of the bag? Who's got the magic locked away? The rabbit in the hat? And who is going to find the ice in the crucial moment?
Could it be Joke? Finds a pass to a corner, but all his teammates are there. I mean, N is able to get there then, but thought it was going to be a challenge from one of the Centurion players. Instead, it just wasn't. And maybe a chance as Rowell actually works out as a decent pass to Nick, but N just able to get there first. Nick just take his time, taking too much time. And now Nowak off a corner, getting bumped, still able to stay on it. There's just a complete lack of challenge from Centurions, maybe just taking that casual approach. Is it almost a nonchalant gimmick for them in overtime? Just taking so much time to challenge, just delaying it so much. Maybe they're just lulling Shenron into a false sense of security as Noak is the last man, takes to the skies, ahead of Rowell. Is it on target? Not quite. Nick makes a clearance anyway, sets up for Moggy, sorry. It's a great first touch, looking to play it middle, it sets up for Nick, off the backboard, Kai for the second touch, not quite, but Rowell off the crossbar, and Nick, again it's saved, but now it's Moggy's turn to finish it for Centurions.
And the player who said he felt like he could be doing a little bit more for his team earlier on in the Discord steps up when it matters. The pressure was dialed up, but finally it comes crashing down on Alpha Surge. It may have been a hard-fought battle, but at the end of it, Centurions get their win. But what a series that was here. I have to say, impeccable, absolute cinema, some may call it. And I have to say, GM, I did not think that was going to be as intense as it was. I have to ask you, actually, as the GM of Fort Templar, were you maybe a little bit stressed towards the end of that series?
Yeah, I think that game 4 was so important for Centurions. I mean, when you have a higher ranked team and you're 2-1 down, when you win that fourth game, it just gives you that little bit of confidence to go out there and finish your job. Of course, they were pushed all the way. They did have to defend unbelievably well, you have to say. I mean, how neither team found a goal in regulation, we'll never know the answer to that. But they were just able to hold out every single time. And then they got forwards, they kept going, they always found a follow-up. And Shenron, eventually, they just ran out. They just couldn't quite hold it together right at the very end. And that was the difference. It's just that steely resolve that Centurions have, which has allowed them to win 10 series so far. And despite that defeat from Illusory earlier on, I believe it was on Wednesday, I believe that puts them on 11 wins and 5 losses in terms of series. I'm not sure whether that will be enough for them to retain top spot. Of course, we will await on All-Stars results and Kings results as well, because they could still snipe top spot depending on their results. Of course, with a ball chasing outage, there is a fair delay as to when we know the outcome of this series. But that is all for this series. But in about 10 minutes or so, we will be moving all the way down to Prospect, where I won't be there, but there will be coverage of Embark versus Spark provided by Kingsman Gas and Markov Gee. But that is it for me tonight. And any last words from you, Hodge?
I mean, I had an apology queued up on my second monitor for if Alpha Surge won that. I had an apology cooked up for Conflict, which I was going to read out at the end of the stream, but saying as they couldn't get it done, the apology won't be needed. So, yeah, come back at the top of the hour in 10 minutes to see that third match in the Prospect Division. And yeah, hope you guys enjoy that one. So, from us, it's have a good rest of your evening, but hope you enjoy and stick around for that final match on stream.
Cause the bass goes shaking the room from the back to the center, making you move to the track you surrender, shaking the room from the back to the center, got you scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes shaking the room from the back to the center, making you move to the track you surrender, shaking the room from the back to the center, got you scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes as we enter, shaking the room from the back to the center, making you move to the track you surrender, got you scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes as we enter, shaking the room from the back to the center, making you move to the track you surrender, got you scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes. Your face closed up cause the bass goes. Scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes as we enter, shaking the room from the back to the center, making you move to the track you surrender, got you scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes as we enter, shaking the room from the back to the center, making you move to the track you surrender, got you scrunching your face closed up cause the bass goes.
To push through my I'm truly a desperate lost soul. I got a feeling this world lost control. There's no more hope left. We're stuck in the unknown. It's the only thing I know. If I ever fall, will they even notice? Never care for all goodbye love. I just wanna be alone. I just wanna be alone. I just wanna be alone.
I wanna be delivered to the heart.
You're pulling on my walls down. I've never been exposed like this before. I'm good at shutting you out. I'm the storm that meets the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the final game here on the RSC-EU stream. We're dropping all the way down from Elite to the Prospect tier, where we will see Embark take on Spark. Staying with me in the booth is Mark on my right. How are you doing, Mark?
I am doing fantastically well. It's definitely a big drop down there from that elite matches that we've just seen for the last two, which have been pretty good games. And that last match actually went down to the wire. It was the final game on a 1 goal in overtime that took quite some time. So, I mean, going down to that to Prospect, where we're going to see Brave Spark, who are 2-12 at the moment, not playing for really anything, bottom of that table, against a team that's sitting in second spot that just looks too good to be true for Spark to try and find something from this. But I mean, you're playing up against Embark, who are 8-6, and looking to try and finish on top of that table at some point, hopefully, if they can. But I don't know if they even, if 2 weeks, there's a chance to sneak it, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, Embark, the only team here with something to play for. So they've got to give it their all regardless. Spark will be looking for any underdog story they can find tonight. They'll be looking for any games they can take off. Even though they're out of it, they can still have a massive impact on the rest of the table starting here tonight. I believe they got swept by Ocultus at the start of the week. So they'll be looking to sort of bounce back here. And I believe Embark might be playing with their sub. So if we want to throw that sort of thing into the equation, it could potentially ruffle a few feathers. But Mark, obviously, we do predictions on sort of off stream before we start. What did you go with?
Yeah, we definitely do. I mean, I went for Spark getting at least one game, all right? Most of the games they've lost, yes, they have, but they have got a one out of it, at least one of these games. So I went 3-1 to Embark.
Yeah, I wasn't as nice to Spark in all honesty. I went for Embark 3-0. I'm of the regard that Louis should have never been in Prospect in the first place at the start of the season. He is there, obviously, and he is probably a brilliant... I haven't watched much Prospect, but he's a brilliant player. And he's probably the main reason they're sat in second place at the minute. And I don't see Spark, aside who have struggled for wins all season, as we know, by their record. I don't see them potentially putting anything special on the cards tonight. But who knows? They could pull out a massive surprise. And they could absolutely walk the floor with Embark, but only time will tell as we send them onto the field.
Yeah, exactly. Only time will tell as we head on to Manfield night for our first game, where we think it's going to be pretty convincing from one side. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a bright spark here as Brave trying to come to a series, at least just playing for the fun of playing now and finishing off the rest of the league. But that may be actually a little bit easier for them, a little bit of less pressure and just playing for fun. Maybe that'll play better in a different side of things. But Scripts are going to take it off the crossbar, drop down towards Chico, and he's going to be demoed, and that's going to then be back in control here for him back just to play around and just kind of suss each other out at the moment in time because nothing really coming on early. But it does seem that Brave are going to get that first goal. Funny enough, it's strange. It's not the way we were expecting it, but it is a goal number 1, and Brave Spark are leading the way against Embark. This is going to be really confusing.
Yeah, I'm going to mess the names up as well, I'm so sure. But it's a complete opposite of what we saw. Spark have come out with all the pressure off the block, and they don't look like giving up, and they take the opening goal, in fact. That is, well, a surprise, and they'll be looking to produce more of those as Louis puts a shot on, but it's saved away by Sicko. Coco, who I believe is their sub, getting some sub games done as well, so that'll be nice to see how they can perform with him as well as Vale. Pass it off to Louis. Louis looks for the demo on the goal line, doesn't find it. Scrub will clear that away as Jams with 50 now. It's a nice attack forming for Spark here, but Vale more than happy to clear that away. Last season's prospect winner in the draft format, so he'll be looking to sort of replicate that again with Embark this season, and it'll be very interesting to see him put on a show. But that's Coco flying past the ball, and Embark look slightly nervy here.
Yeah, I was going to say that. They did look slightly nervy, but there was a bit of a Brave Spark off of the line, and it made it pretty easier to slot it in as Field passes on towards Coco, and he'll knock it into the back and tie up this scoreline. A wee bit of disco feet and disco pants, and there we go. Back to where we expect it to be. Maybe we'll see Embark now just starting to play a little bit more Rocket League.
But it's going to be Spark who come off the brighter here. The Scrubs are looking to double it middle, won't find anything. Louis, I did mention him as sort of my player to watch here, and he's not going to be involved so far. Veiled, though, looking to push it forward. Well, we found Coco reversing. Not good to reverse when you're not looking in the rear mirrors. But Louis pushes it down forward. Can he get it middle? He does. Coco to follow up. Nothing threatening as of yet. Ball pushed out to Veiled. He's got no one in the middle. That splits right over the head. That is trailing goal bound, but no challenge for Coco, who plays it away with ease.
Yeah, had enough place to clear it and even get back without even using it, which is good enough for them. But they're keeping the scoreline even once again. But it's going to be a good kind of showing to start off here for Brave. I'm actually surprised the way we've gone, considering the amount of goals that they have conceded so far. It's a total of 154, wait, 155 including this one as well. But it's quite a lot of goals to concede. They're a -24 deficit, but maybe they can hold their defense well enough here against Impact. It's pretty good show, and that's a total of 6 saves so far, or 6 shots they've had to get themselves, and a couple of saves they've had their way. But Coco once again having to make a save there for the Embark roster, but then they send the ball straight up the field. Jams to a jump off of it. It's going to drop right down into Field, and Field will make sure the Embark take the lead here. A good opportunity taken in Jams. I think he's got a bit unfortunate. Sicko tries to follow up. They both bash into each other and they just can't have control inside the goal, and it makes it an easy finish.
Yeah, you mentioned they've conceded 154 on now 156 goals, and if mistakes like those were frequent, it might be a reason. Scrubster beaten to ball by Louis. Does get a demo though for his troubles. Sicko takes the ball downfield. Jams booming ball. Is Louis able to reach that? He is. Nice touch off the backboard. Scrub does look for a shot. Not found. Failed now. Looking to bring it forward to Coco now in the midfield. Nothing going. Jams versus Louis. 1v1 situation. Straight at him, and Louis not phased in the slightest. He picks up his 3rd save. Nice shot from Sicko, and Coco also picking up his 3rd save. Spark have been on the offense in this game, but Embark have got all the answers for them here.
Yeah, they've got all the saves in the back pocket. I mean, it's just not the perfect positional placement that they're putting these shots onto the target. Yes, they're getting plenty of shots, but putting it too close to Harms for that defense, whereas Veiled are doing the exact opposite. He is finding the corners, and he is finding the places where there is no defender or no keeper able to save it. Spark now trail by 2, and a good little goal there. Kachow in the way as well. A little bit of lightning coming from that one, but that's a wee bit of the spark from Embark.
Yeah, Embark Spark haven't really had the opportunities afterwards. And speaking of Embark, they make it for Louis straight off the kickoff. I think it was a nice bump from Coco onto the last man, and just no one covering that back line, as Embark are basically putting their hands on game 1, taking away game 1 here. However, Spark will have to produce something magical to do that, and given their run this season, I do not think that will happen. But a bit of sort of fooling around in the back line for Embark here, as Louis looks to push it forward now, going on his own for an air dribble.
Oh, no,
Lovely air
no,
dribble.
no.
It's a lovely air dribble.
Louis just showing off. Like, he's just like, right, we've got the 4-goal lead now after this one. But I mean, we had the 3-goal lead. Just go for some styling, and he does that all the way to the goal. Nice little goal for Louis. And yeah, it started off strong for Spark. It's ending pretty bad and in the dirt for them. But 4 goals down with a minute to play. Don't see the comeback from Spark here, but they need to start the second game just as they started this last one, but maybe try and keep these shots a little bit better. Try and get them targeting these corners just like that Embark roster have managed to do. That's the difference between the two sides. Sides have got plenty of shots across the board. Pretty much Spark have more shots, just have not converted them. That's the difference we have here.
As you mentioned, they've had more shots. I think even a consolation goal would help the Spark here, just to sort of get that momentum sort of back in place. And that shot just rolling wide from Louis. Jams, looking to see if he can air dribble it out. Gets the pinch on the ground. Coco there to meet it though. Ball flying there in the air. Just good 50 from Scrubster. However, picked up again by Coco. He's looking to score on his own here. Beat another. No, he doesn't get the beat. Ball is perilously up in the air. Louis, bit of a double commit here, but Veiled has it covered. And well, Embark looked a bit slow to get into this game one. However, they were the faster team to finish it. More clinical with their chances, and deservedly, they take game one.
Yeah, deservingly so. Louis showing some bit of class there again, as we said. He'll take the MVP slot, but a couple of good goals and just all right overall great performance. 3 saves going his way as well. And yeah, there's not really much you could say about that. Spark started off strong, got the early goal. Looked like they could have had an upset on the cards here, but Embark were just kind of setting themselves down, got themselves into the rhythm, and then that just ticked away goal after goal. Embark lead the way and take match number 1.
They do, yeah. If Spark could only show some of that momentum and proper ruthlessness they showed off the block, they had a real attacking rhythm off the start of the game, and they looked real threatening. Embark looked like they couldn't deal with them, but after Embark got that first goal, sort of got the stream nerves potentially off of the way, because that could be a big thing playing into this. A game that they are clear favourites in, let's be honest, and need to be winning, and they go a goal down. Nerves must have been at an all-time high, but they controlled their nerves brilliantly, and shots as equal as they were don't tell the proper story of how dominant Embark were in game 1, and they'll be looking to take that into game 2.
Yeah, definitely. And this is where momentum will just keep going. You'd hope for Embark just to kind of get this sweep, get the game over with, and get themselves more and more closer towards that top spot in the division here. They're obviously playoffs are pretty much almost but secured here for the Embark roster potentially. So it has been a very close league though between them. There is very few and far between in terms of wins and losses. They've got 8 and 6, I think they've gone in terms of wins and losses. So I mean that's a very close, but the games must have been super close in terms of like 3-2s, etc. But there we go. An early start once again. Scrupter will put the goal in the back of the net, and a good early start as well. Again from Spark.
I just hope it's not telling of that same game 1 story, but it's a very nice shot from Scrubster, almost slotting that just above Louis. I don't think Louis expected it. He does give his regards and a prop in chat saying that nice shot to him, but yeah, it's Spark who again come out on the front foot here. However, Veiled looking for that goal to equal it up. Louis not going to challenge Scrubster, who's going to be pushing forward. Coco looking for the ball middle, goes for the shot, double commit on the side of Spark. However, nice redirect into the corner means they clear it away for now. Embark looking to push forward in the form of Louis. He's shown us what he can do individually, forces 2 to go. Coco cuts in middle, no second touch given, and Spark's defense is looking a little bit stronger than it is in that game 1. However, I'm sure they're not just going to be willing to hold out, they're going to want another goal.
Yeah, definitely. You can't sit there with 1 goal. It is so easily to turn around, as we've already seen in match number 1. But if they can keep their defence up, defence can win you games if you're leading away. You can't park the bus completely here, not against a team like Embark. Especially we've got Louis playing as he's been playing, and Veiled getting some great opportunities. Coco as well. These boys are just going to try and get the pass of plays in. There you go. Louis is going to pass it straight over towards Veiled. He's going to take the shot. Jams there to deal with it. but it's only going to fall as far as Coco. Teal then looked to put the challenge on, but no boost and no kind of momentum to take that ball any further forward towards that goal line.
Yeah, and Embark showing that bit of class that they have with a nice passing play, and that's open from Coco. That is open from Coco, the sub. I don't think he plays week in, week out. He might, but he beats one, beats the second, and rallies it into an open net. And, well, it's Coco leading the way, but Embark have the game tied again. And that sort of came out of nothing, really. It came out of a spark clearance, and Coco just picked it up, beat one, beat the second, and said, thank you very much, I will take an open net. But here comes Veiled, looking to double Embark's goal tally here. Cleared away from Sicko, only to Veiled, but Scrubster is going to be there. Sort of the spark, as you will, for Brave Esports side here. Scrubster's sort of been their man to sort of push them forward here, as Louis looks for the pass middle. But nothing doing. Embark sort of being slowed a bit in compared to the absolute rampage in game one.
Yeah, exactly that. Definitely difference in terms of the game speed and even the momentum in which the goals came flowing in after their first from Embark. But I really hope that from now, even though it's a drawn game, it's just now there's still a chance here for Spark. But I hope they don't disembark, because that will give Embark pretty much an easy picket. There we go. He's going to do unfortunate, nice little flick that I actually didn't think it was going to go anywhere, and all of a sudden he's flicked it into the goal. Jams and Sicko combining with a nice little flick there off the DeLorean. Leaves Veiled stationary, nothing to do, can't deal with it. Spark get their second goal in this match, and I've actually double delayed and got a chance now here to potentially build a bit more momentum now. They've got 2 goals in a game. It's not just a one constantly goal that they've got, but this is now a lead and 2 goals. I mean, this is a better form from Spark.
Yeah, with some brilliant off the ball stuff by Scrubster.
Sicko's going to get another
from Embark, as yeah, Sicko just walks it in again. Embark overcommitting far too much here, leaving Spark with an open net. They might be 2-12, but they do not miss open nets. As much as I thought Jams did for the second one, they are putting them away, and Spark's lead goes to 2. They're going to really look to push on here, put Embark under pressure, and well, anything can happen. Sicko to the backboard. It's an absolute onslaught from Spark here, however, cleared away by Coco. Looks for the 50. Scrubster clears long. Can he get it again? 50 with Veiled. Veiled low boost. Good 50 middle. That could
going to get that into the goal as well.
Wow.
Sicko gets his hat trick, and this is just looking like he was just waiting for it. He had a feeling this ball was going to bounce right for him. He finds it, predicts it off of the wall, and there's nobody there to deal with. Scrubster was going to tap it in no matter what if it was going to be challenged, but yeah, that is a 3-goal lead here, and this is the game I say is maybe Spark will get one of these rounds to win one of these matches. This is the round that it looks like they've got the chance of winning here. They've got a 3-goal lead, and they'll want to hold on to that now with 1 minute and 40 seconds still to play. It's not completely over, but Scrubster has just made it 5-1. That might be sealing the deal. A 4-goal deficit now you've got to come back from if you're Embark.
Yeah, for a team that's 2-12, they're firing like a team fighting for playoffs. 5-1 both games separated by only one team. Embark 5-1, Spark showing they can put a 5-1 on the board as well, and now be more than happy that it's in game 2. And Sicko going alone again. Ball out middle, Scrubster booms it downfield. 90 seconds left on the clock, and as you mentioned, Mark, I think this game is basically over. There's going to have to be some quick goals for Embark, and if that's going to happen, and I don't think any team is pulling back that deficit.
Yeah, I put it this way, Embark's only had 4 shots this time around, and that is a massive difference in compared to game 1. It's just been a great defense on the side of Spark, and also a great attacking prowess. They've scored 5 of their goals and 5 of their shots on target have went in. So I mean, that is the conversion rate they wanted from the last game, and it is good to see they've actually managed to convert their opportunities this time round. And 50 seconds left to do it. Vale's going to try and get that challenge back up, but Jam's there to deal with. He's best the side of Embark for now, and I think that's pretty much it. I don't know if it's going to end any more goals, but there might be one just on the cards here as Veiled will drop it just under the bar. There we go. That's going to be another consolation, pretty much, I feel, from Embark, unless somehow they score 3 more goals in 30 seconds. A goal every 10 seconds. It is possible, but very unlikely.
I've seen situations where it's happened before, and you see 95% where they don't. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it's happening. Even with Spark's record, I don't believe any team can fire 3 goals back. However, this might be the start they need. A very awkward touch, however, Veiled pre-jumping it in almost desperation for goals here is going to do it. But time is what is against Embark right now. It's not the Spark players. It's that time on the clock, which is tick-tick-tocking down. Ball to the backboard. More consolation goals in sight, or is it going to be another goal for Spark here? I think Embark will do their best to try and not concede another one. But yes, Mark, this game is over. You're right. Spark can take a game, and they're looking to take many, many more.
I mean, this is what I said. They don't have any pressure to compete. Like, they're just playing for fun at this point. But, I mean, it's a good game to be showing up and show that you can still battle with the big dogs and potentially create a wee upset here for this Embark roster. Sicko, though, that was a fantastic match from him. 619 score with 3 goals, a save, converting every single one of his shots, and we said it was at 100% conversion rate across the board there for the Sparks shots on target. All of them hit the back of the net.
Yeah, that's the type of conversion rate a team can only dream of. I mean, I think about 3 of them were open nets, where Embark leaving it wide open, and so were Embark's goals. I think one of them was just the open net as well. So if both teams improve on that, we can get lower scoring games. But we did say Embark were very good at saving in Game 1, and they've sort of just shut that part of their game off in Game 2, leaving it open numerous times. And it's something, if they're looking back on this game, they'll think, how did we let so many goals like it go in? And, well, they'll be looking to sort of revert back to their Game 1 form, but this is just a best of 3 now. Both games before don't matter. You've just got to pick up 2 game wins now. Score is reset to 0-0, and you've got to go and give your best showing.
Yeah, exactly that. 0-0, fresh mindset. It is all to play for now. First to 2. Who's going to get that here? Scripster and Co, or is it going to be Louis and Co? We'll have to wait and see as we're back into game number 3. Vale's going to get the first chance to send the ball up towards that Sparks side. Coco goes for the challenge. Louis is going to still try and compete in this octane of his. Gets it past one. Oh, Louis. It was unfortunate. His teammate just kind of flew past the ball early there, but that's going to be off of the wall. Side wall from Veiled, and nobody's there. It was going to be Louis just to tap it in if it happened to not fall in the goal line. But for Veiled, he gets very fortunate here because Scripster was competed on a 50-50. Nobody can compete with the defense, and Embark will take the lead here in Game 3.
Yeah, they will, and something I didn't talk about was Spark leaving the net, which they've seemingly done there. Scrubster being absolutely harassed by Louis in the back line and making it go straight in, but Sicko, nice pop-up field. Jam's going to look for a shot, ball backboard. It's awkward for the defense here. What a shot from Scrubster, just off the post. If that had fell in, that would have been a beautiful rate of conversion. He has surprised me, at least tonight, with his shots from that, and that's a shot from Veiled. Not going to find the back of the net. Pinch off the backboard. Can Spark get this gone? They can't really. Nice few fakes thrown in the mix, but this is prospect for you. You've got to expect moments like that.
Yeah, this is the moments that I see happening when I'm playing in my little platinum / diamond level league games sometimes. But for the most part, I miss them. But these guys are doing a little bit better. Double post it goes from Veiled, and it will come flying out again. Spark the opportunity though. Jam's going to send it up. Sicko's going for that challenge. He's going to get it towards the goal, and it's going to go flying past Veiled. What a little goal there as it goes in and sneaks in. Now Spark back into tied game, and they're definitely getting better. They're definitely getting better as these games progressing.
Yeah, if you had told me about the form of either of these sides going into it, I'd say these sides were 2 pretty even sides battling it out here. But yeah, maybe the pressure being taken off of Spark has really done some good things for them. But Veiled now is up, and he is going to put the absolute bullet into that statement and show why Embark are at the top of the table. And an absolute bullet, 109 kph, and Embark take the lead again, and they take back control of Game 3.
Yeah, nice little flying goal there from them, and 2-1 lead to take the back end field. Looking good once again. 50% conversion rate, but he's got the lead for the side, and that's all that matters. It doesn't matter sometimes if you've got the 100% conversion, as long as you're winning. But they need to get more shots here on target and try and convert some more, and then Back will probably lead the way even more. Just like we said with Spark, they were doing so well, but Louis comes in with the demo towards Sicko. Jamso at least takes the possession away from them, only for a matter of seconds. Coco gets the flick over the top. He's going to go above the bar. The demo comes in as well. Veiled hits it too high, and there's not going to be a challenging player here for Embark to try and slot that home. But Louis, with that nice little bit of skill, pops it off, goes and drops down, but it's too late for them. Jamster's going to be the 50-50 challenger. Coco saves it. Louis now back off the backboard, taps it down, underside of the crossbar. 3-1. It is a 2-game goal lead, sorry, and now looking very, very dominant once again as Louis shows off his skills.
Did Scrubster disconnect? Because I don't know if you saw it, but yeah, no, his game's crashed. Yeah, but he was sort of inactive whilst Louis was going up for that. I don't want to discredit Louis because it was a good double tap, but I saw Scrubster there and I thought, oh, such a shame for Spark, who were looking so good. Luckily, Scrubster is straight back in, and it's not going to be too much of a discomfort to Spark. However, the goals they have to get back is double. They can do it. They scored 5 in the last game, so if anything, that just proves their striking power. Veiled pushes that away to Louis, who doesn't beat Scrubster here. Man that's come back, he will rise again, I'm sure, and he'll be looking for absolute vengeance. Coco now pushing it forward. Veil taking it off him straight to Louis, who doesn't beat anyone. Bit of a weird play here, but I'm sure Embark know what they're doing as they still search for a 4th goal here.
Yeah, constantly searching. I think that might have disrupted the flow here of Spark just ever so slightly. It was obviously the player going down. Maybe that goal might not have went in, maybe it would have, I don't know. Either way, we will never know. It was definitely conceded anyway for Spark, but now they're having to fight back a 2-goal deficit with 1:30 left on the clock. Scrubster, who's got back in, goes for that challenge. A good 50 comes in. The ball's going to drop down towards Jamster. He's got no boost. He misses the ball, but Sicko there gets the shot on target, but Coco pulls off the save.
And brilliant save it is. A goal for Spark here would just open up the playing grounds for another barrage of attacks here. And well, Spark are looking for the goals. I'll give them that. They're certainly trying. However, Embark are going to get it away in the form of Louis. Jams clears it. Scrubster looking for that counter attack. However, Veiled there. Is this net open? It is open. And Jams just caught napping off his line. And Veiled slots his 3rd, his hat trick. He's having a monumental game, and he is leading the charge for Embark to take the series lead again.
Yeah, it seems that he has just unveiled his true power here. And Scripture says he's sorry his game crashed again. I don't know if that was just the last one, but maybe he's just saying it from response. But yeah, that's 3 goals to take it back here with 50 seconds left on the clock. It looks like game number 3 is going to go blue here for Embark. But Field gets that demo on towards Scripster. It'll send the ball flying up to the other side of Spark. But Louis completely misses the ball. There's 2 players challenging from different directions here from Embark, but they still hold possession, and it's still in the other half. And that's good for them, because at least with the double commit, it's not caused them any disruption. But that's a ball straight across goal towards Sicko. And once again, Spark are dealing with it in the defence for now, but there's no time left on this clock. They're not going to score 3 more goals to tie up this and take it to overtime. If not, Louis is going to add another and make it another 5-1 win for Embark by the looks of it.
Yeah, 5 seems to be the number of goals you have to score to win a game.
Number.
It is a magic number. I also did think for a split second when Louis shot that it was hitting the crossbar, it was like going to go up and out, because he didn't make that the most secure shot in the world. With a 3-goal lead, he wasn't really worried. And a consolation goal here for Jams. It's nice for Spark to know that they can put it away. Nice little kickoff goal for them. And I think it was the last game 5-2 as well. We've gone from 5-1, 5-2, 5-2. I wonder if we'll eventually break that 5-3 mark here.
Maybe this is going to be another kickoff goal here for Spark. Maybe not. It's going to be Louis that does it instead. I jinxed it. It's the other way. It's gone 6-2. It's not the 5-3 that we're maybe going to see the combination scorelines going, but it is a 6-2. So technically we're right. It's still a combo, right? We're still going up in ones on one side. Either way, 5-5, 6-6-2. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. The next game's going to be a 6-3. And it's going to be a game 5 after that, right? That's what we're going to see. We're going to see a bright Spark from Brave
Oh,
Actually, we
oh,
might
no,
see
you
another
jinxed
goal
it
here.
again.
There's 70. We've jinxed it. This is the caster curse at its best and its finest. The time is at 0, and we're still seeing another goal going in. Louis, nice little bit of play, and drops it in just before it would hit that floor, and that will end the game here. Embark leading the way 2-1 with a chance to seal the deal in our next matchup. We see if the Spire can go on and take a 3-1 win, or do we see something from Spark in this 4th game?
Louis doing a nice bit of, let's say, points farming at the end with his 2 goals. I'm sure his stats will absolutely be loving that. And that just sort of discomforts Spark. I mentioned they got a consolation goal to sort of make it 5-2, but those 2 goals cannot have done anything good. However, if you look on the side of Spark, they've got 9 shots. So they've certainly had the pressure to have the goals here, but the Embark back line haven't really been troubled. They sort of need to find that Game 2 form if we're going to Game 5 here. But another dominant performance from Embark. And dare I say, Mark, I think I've seen a bit of deja vu.
Yeah, I mean, definitely have seen a little bit of deja vu. But this is, this has been an interesting game because it felt like Spark had a good wee play of it, and then, it was 5-2, so it was going to end that way, but then it was actually 5-1. I thought it was going to end, and then all of a sudden Spark gets a goal, and then we're seeing 3 goals in like 12 seconds, I think it was. It was so quick. It was a massive turnaround to be ending 7-2. But yeah, I think Spark have maybe it's no longer ignited, that's for sure. I feel like that has maybe diminished as wee bit, and I feel like Embark are just going to seal the deal here in our Game 4, and especially the way that their form is going and the amount of goals that they managed to secure in this series so far. I don't see Spark managing to hold out for much longer.
Well, I said that after Game 1. I said this looked like this was going to be a runaway from Embark, and well, Spark certainly showed me up then. They might want to look at showing you up now. However, Louis here with the ball in the corner. Lovely pass in field, but Coco, not expecting it, is going to clear it away. Sicko, nice touch. Louis looks to pass out middle, does. Veiled misses from every single player on the field, and Coco looks to bring the ball back in. No demo found, and that's going to be a clear for Spark unless Louis can get in the way. Let's go straight to Veiled. Nice little passing play here. Oh, you could just see that being met with a shot there, but still 0-0 at this point.
Yeah, well, you said it at the start there. I feel like I could be the jinx of it. I mean, the caster curse happened a few times there in just one game, so I mean, you could be right. Might see something here from Spark, but what it's going to need is something nice coming out of the side of Spark, and there you go. A nice little quick flick towards from Sicko, and that's going to be slotted in. It's just a little bit, well, maybe it wasn't he flicked it. He got the assist still, but that was been from the pass before. But what a nice, solid, powerful shot to put them 1-0 up. But we've seen this before, where Sparks start off strong. They get the first goal early, but the Embark roster just starts getting themselves back in things, and then they find a few goals of their own. Louis is that one person that you're going to expect to do something like that as well, and he always kind of shows up when he needs to. So we'll see if that can happen. As Build got his MVP stolen from him last time because the last 2 goals early, like late on in that last match, came out of the way of Louis.
Dare I say, I think Spark may have taken the lead in every single game so far. And, well, you were mentioning Louis as the guy who can create something here. It's Coco creating, Louis putting it away, and we're back at that old familiar scenario. Spark take the lead, and Embark start to come back. And, well, 3 minutes 42, and the game is like a book now. It's wide open.
Yeah, well, let's see how long it'll stay wide open, or are we going to see even more pressure coming in from this Embark roster? Coco takes it up, taps it down, but Field pre-jumps it a little bit early in the direction. Doesn't go the way that he wants it, so unfortunate for him. He won't get the shot onto target, but Louis, once again, gets that flick. Scrubster is best to it, but it's going to fall only towards Coco. Once again, saved again, but it falls. Final member of Veiled, and that will be the 2-1 lead. Trying to pull off every single stop here from Scrubster, but we can't stop the third. It's too late.
Yeah, he's not a brick wall. He will not keep bouncing the ball away. You just got to get rid of him, and he did that to himself. And, well, Embark pressure continuing, and the goals keep to build. Veiled, ball middle. I don't think even the Flash was getting that on the end of that one.
No, that had to been some hell of speed to get onto the back end of that one. That went flying across that goal line.
Yeah, that would have been impressive, but a double commit in the backline here. That's going to leave them awkward, but Veiled still beats Jams to the ball. And Scrubster looking for that first attack since their opening goal here. But that is sent downfield by Coco. Missed by Jams on the back line, and... oh.
It's not missed by Louis, though. It is definitely not missed by Louis. He'll direct that into that top corner. Does come off of the defender, but it's yeah, it's pretty much almost unstoppable. Scrubster trying to do everything he possibly can, but he's flying in from outside the goal, which means he's probably just going to send it into the goal even more, which he does end up sending it into the top corner. Now they're 2-0 down, and that's a difficult comeback here for Spark. This 3-1 looks like it is about to be on the cards, or 3-1 up in this game. I know it just looks like it is going to be all domination here from Embark as they constantly keep the pressure on. Coco sends it towards the goal line. Scrubster gets it cleared again. I feel like Scrubster's been involved in every single defensive play here for now, as he now goes on the attack for himself and no Busto to play with. Sicko challenges up with the DeLorean. He's not going back to the future. I think he wishes he can, as this has not been the best of games for him, and maybe he wants to go back to that winning game that he found in game 2. Because that's where they were on form, and Sicko was finding all the goals, but he's not managed to do much recently, as Veiled will add a 4th, and that is looking well and truly series sealed.
The coffin is being prepared, as they say, and it's got Spark's name on it. They're going to need to find something magical, or this series will be over. And, well, from what we've seen the last 2 games, I don't think they've got it. However, I am more than open to surprises here, and it's got to start somewhere. And it's not double commit. Both players from Spark miss it. That's not going to challenge Louis, although Coco diving in won't help. It will leave the net open here, and it's Scrubster again, that man who we've been talking about, who's been everywhere. He's there. He beats Veiled, and it's 4-2. All I'm saying, Mark, I've written Spark off, and that goal has certainly put them back in contention.
Yeah, maybe that's going to ignite something for this little comeback here. They're only 2 goals down now, but there's still a minute and 45 seconds to play this. Scrubster takes to the sky. He tries to do a little bit of aerial finessing. Doesn't manage to pull it off, though. He's going to drop down to Coco, and he's going to send it all the way up. It's just wide of the post, but the reach out coming in from Coco. And there we go. Takes that lead back to 3.
Gorgeous demo, must I add, from Louis. Just to absolutely open it up from Coco against the post, but wow, brilliant demo. And that is what an off-the-ball play does. Coco basically with the open net. Louis won't get any points or credit from it, but he gets credit from me on stream, and that's got to be good enough as he looks to pass out to Coco again. Good 50, and it's going to be missed by Sicko. Veiled now. Nice bit of control. Oh, lovely bit of patience, and well, Embark having their fun.
Okay, so we got to 7-2 last time around. We're at 6-2 already. We've still got a minute and 17 seconds to go. Are we keeping a trend here? I feel like we are.
Yeah, we might be. This could end up 7-2, 7-3, 8-2. Honestly, I think any good guess here, I think you might be right, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, this is just this is crazy. The amount of goals to just keep come flying in here, and most of the time it is the way of the blue roster, and that is Embark and Aspire. I want to be happy with this team and how well they have performed here today, and they're looking to continually put more pressure on, find more goals. That's going to be shot back towards Louis. He's going to try and flick it past Jams, but Jams is okay to deal with that for now, but only to Veiled, who has been one of the standout players throughout this whole time. But obviously Louis is always pretty much sitting in that MVP spot, just with the goals that he's scoring and the assists and saves and everything along the way. But yeah, Veiled has definitely been one of the players to be watching as well. Some of the skills that he's pulling off and some of the little passes and assists he's pulling as well. He's got himself in a good position to potentially steal that MVP from Louis if he keeps up scoring from goals in this final game. But 20 seconds left, going to have to start doing them now.
Yeah, Veiled,
jive.
He's a prospect champion for a reason, and he has shown that tonight alongside Louis, who's been challenger player for ages now. Just too much class for Spark, and I don't want to curse it before it's over, because I don't want to say the final scoreline, but Louis is just going to farm that extra save. Oh my goodness.
The pinch ends there abruptly, a lot quicker than it did last time round. We're not seeing a 0-0 goal, but GG's in there for everyone. Embark seal the deal here, finish the series 3-1 with a 6-2 victory over Brave Spark. The Spire roster looking solid, and I'm pretty much sure I can guarantee that Louis going to get that MVP status at the end of this. If I don't, I'm very surprised at that, but I'm happy I've got a prediction right for this evening.
Yeah, I mean, Embark, I think, will be kicking themselves for dropping game 2 because win percentage is so massive, especially with with 3 other teams, 8 and 6 at the moment. Their win percentage is a pure thing, keeping them in that second place at the minute. So dropping a game to a team that, apart from game 2, look just way behind. That's something they'll have to reconsider at the end of the season if it does cost them top 3. But job is done from Embark tonight. They got a 3-1 win, and as you mentioned, Louis is your MVP, and deservedly so. As much as Veiled was putting on his own show out there, Louis, as I mentioned before, was in a class of his own.
Yeah, definitely. Veiled was trying to put the challenge in towards Louis, but Louis just comes out on top in the end. We kind of thought it was going to go that way for Louis, but well played. Well, the Embark roster looking good. Hopefully, if they can get another couple of wins here, they've got that chance of sealing their deal on top spot. It's going to take some good games and potentially 3-0s, which might not come if they weren't able to finish a 3-0 here with Spark, which would have been a good start to that final 4 games. But well played overall anyway from Embark, and yeah, Spark, you just have to live another day and try and finish off your games and try and get some wins on the board before the end. There's only potentially 2 more games for them left as well, I think. So yeah, see what they can do next week, or the remainder if they've got a game this week as well at some point. We'll wait and see. But yeah, what a unfortunate ending for them.
Yeah, they played their game against Wildcards before this, so they've come sort of off of a double header in a sense, which is also something that would have been nice to have known at the start of the series, because going into it with a bit of a break, maybe not having that scrim in between, that could be why they were off to a slow start at the start. But once they've warmed up, no one looked like stopping them, and well, they do only have 2 series left. If ball chasing wasn't down right now, I could give you an updated score, but I'm sure Masters in chat, yeah, there you go. They lost the game against Wildcards 3-2, so they sit 9-7 right now going into the final week. Based on other results, they could fall. I think that, as Masters has said, they fall to 3rd on win percentage as it stands. So then this is what RSC is about. It's 18 games to decide, and every game matters. If you're tied on series, win percentage is the next tiebreaker it comes down to.
Yeah, exactly that. Well, hopefully for them they could try and see what they can do in the last week. It is all to play for. We're fighting for that playoffs and spots. I'm pretty sure they're still close and closer to that. They need to get at least a win or 2. Maybe the 2 of them would be better. Seal the deal completely for that playoffs for Embark. But well done overall anyway, and we'll see you guys next week. Well, actually, when's the next cast? There's one on Saturday, I'm sure, isn't there?
Yes,
there'll be a cast for RSC on Saturday, so make sure to tune in on Saturday. Kingsman, appreciate on the desk again, once again. Been fantastic. This is our first cast together as well, so well done.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. I appreciate it.
No worries. Yeah, so there we go.
I'm the storm that beats the moon. I'm the sun that will not move. Do you think you are? Who do you think you
night, I saw your eyes, a sense of threat that I can't forget. I wanna know who you are. This is what I need to know. So
take my hand and let our fears go. Take me to your jungle where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the. Yeah, take me to the. Take me to your jungle where the rain is warm and the birds fly. Take me to your kingdom. Yeah, take me to the jungle, jungle. Darkest night, I saw your eyes. A sense of threat that I can't forget. I wanna know who you are. Is what I need to know. So take my hand and let our fears go. No words describe your savage life. Ooh, let's give it a go like our purpose shows. I wanna know who you are. Is what I need to know. So take my hand and let our fears go.